Hello, everybody, and welcome back to GKR 2025, the EMEA Brawl Stars Circuit. I am your host, Panicast, joined by the very amazing Sunny Enough. Make sure you use code SUN in the Brawl Stars shop or any Supercell game if you're making any purchases, because that would be amazing.
Thank you so much for that introduction. I'm sure Panda would also be quite happy if he used his code PAN in the shop everywhere. Also now the newest game, Roker, but especially in Brawl Stars. I'm so excited for this match day 5. I had a little break of the GKR, but of course I still followed along, Panda, and you've done a phenomenal job as well as the players.
You've done a phenomenal job. I recently saw that you got a new gig with the BSC as a host, and I think you're killing it. Honestly, it's so great to see somebody I work with so often get that opportunity, and you've been doing such an amazing job. It's been, how do I say this? Making it more colorful and much more nuanced, and I think we all appreciate that.
Thank you so much. I can't put into words how grateful I am for the opportunity to finally be on the BSC. I think you could say that. But I'm also excited to be here today for GKR and still casting a little, because it's a very different role that I take on over there. I'm excited to cast again with you. It's been a while, Panda. Now for the second time this year only, we're casting together again.
Yeah, and we have a few more match days, but today is match day number 5. We go and talk about what we are going to be witnessing today. It is going to be a lot of matches between some of the top teams in EMEA. First up, it's going to be Reverso versus Experian NXT, Dark Eagles versus FA Schnitzel, FA Sniggets versus Humble, IDI versus SK Gaming, LC Esports versus Eclipsar, and finally, Papara Supermassive versus Reply Totem. We have our standings in various groups. I believe SK Gaming, Sunny, is the only team which has finally qualified for the knockout stages, the playoffs, which is going to be the next phase of this GKR tournament. All the other teams aren't really there just yet, but they're slowly sneaking their way up there, Sunny.
You are right indeed. SK Gaming are the only ones to have won all 4 of their matches so far, which is crazy. We have some very strong contestants in this match, and I believe, or in this match day in general, I believe some of the matches today could be very close ones. They are between number 1 and 2 or 2 and 3 seed within their group. So it still comes down to this match today and also next week still who will really qualify, because in the end it's only the top 2 from each group that move on.
Yeah, for sure, Sunny. And I mean, there are some interesting storylines. For example, we just had the EMEA monthly finals where we had a massive upset where we saw Eclipsar Esport winning it over every single team. They won, I believe they won tournaments against every single team in EMEA, every single established organization, which was crazy. I think it was slightly unprecedented, but they came out on top at the end of the day, which was awesome. And if we talk about some of the storylines here, we have Reverso versus Experian NXT. Now, Experian has no way forward in this tournament at all. Even if they win the next 2 match days flawlessly, it is mathematically impossible for them to qualify for the playoffs. But they can play spoil sport here. Reverso, I believe, are trailing Papara Supermassive in their group by 2 losses. So a win here will keep their tournament hopes alive. Add to this the fact that Papara Supermassive have to face Reply Totem as well in this group. It's not yet over for Reverso, despite the fact that they have this loss deficit against this Papara Supermassive side. Though, it really depends on how Papara Supermassive play against Totem today.
It really also comes down in which group you're standing. Some of the groups, like Group C, have an SK Gaming that won every single match so far. They're set already. There's only one more spot for the taking, and Humble is in this group too. So I wouldn't want to be in the shoes of EDI and FA Sniggets here for them. They need to win today and next week, otherwise today actually is the last match day. This might be over for them if they don't take this one, and even then it's going to be very hard for them to qualify. As you mentioned, also for Experian NXT, FA Schnitzel as well, the ones that are at the bottom of the group right now, they need to win every single one of their matches, otherwise it's over.
And we have 3 phases to this tournament. First one was qualifiers, where you had 3 qualifiers to get our 12 teams that are participating in this tournament, Sunny. In the second phase, which is happening right now, it's a double round robin. That means that every single team in a group faces off against every other team in a group twice over, and we have 3 groups of 4 teams. Now we are in this phase where we're trying to figure out who is going to be making it to the knockout stages to get the $2,500, which is going to be the first place, and the $5,000 prize pool, which is there for this tournament. So there are a lot of different things to talk about here, Sunny.
They, of course, don't only take home the glory of $5,000, but also of the name of the first ever GKR Brawl Stars winners. But GKR is for the very first time in Brawl Stars. We're happy to have them, and hopefully they're going to come back in the future as well.
For sure. I mean, they have set up some impressive production for a first-time organization, or first-time tournament organizer coming into this Brawl Stars esports scene. I think that you will seldom find such finesse with a lot of organizations which are trying to start off with the esports side of things. So really impressed with that. And obviously you have to thank their sponsors, Smilky, because without them and without the BSC, I don't think these tournaments would be possible, because obviously money makes the world go around, and sponsors do exactly that. Thank you, Smilky, for all your for all the sponsorship that you provide, and also the protein shakes that which are created for all these athletes in the esports scene.
Of course, not only for training, but also in general. Have you tried one of these drinks before, actually, Ben?
Unfortunately, no, because they are based in Spain, so they would have to ship it to Canada. But I'm looking forward to trying it out once I go to Spain sometime.
They look really tasty. Maybe we can make that happen, Panda. Next time we see each other, we cheer with a bottle of Smilka. Let's make that happen. GKR, hit us up.
I mean, I believe that they have a giveaway going on where they are giving away Smilka on their social medias on Twitter. So if you're interested in some Smilka and you want to give it a try, you can follow GKR on Twitter. I believe it is GKR Leagues on Twitter, and you can check that out. I mean, maybe it might be good for your health routine. I don't know, maybe.
Are we allowed to participate in that too? I don't really know about that. Now, going into the matches though of today, as we mentioned before, some of those teams aren't looking the best anymore within their groups. Only the top 2 move on into the playoffs, and they need to beat their opponent today and also next week, where next week is already our very last match day, Panda. It's been so fast once again. I was, of course, also missing for one of the days, so for me it's even faster, but I hope I had a blast in the last couple of weeks, Panda.
I could say that my my voice box had a lot of exercise because I had to scream a lot. It was fun though. I mean, there were some really good matches. So I'd say that you missed out on a little bit there, Sunny. Obviously, some storylines as well, which we're missing, especially since we were hot off the monthly finals. But right now, we're going to be hot off of balance changes soon, which should be dropping, I feel, in another day or so. But today, we have 6 new hypercharges. I'm not sure if they're available for play or not, but if they are, they're going to bring a lot of chaos and anarchy to this draft, which people don't really have a consensus for already.
Yeah, like I have my analysis here from the monthly finals that just happened last weekend and the weekend before that, but I think I can just throw that out of the window, honestly. After the introduction of those 6 new hypercharges, I believe especially Sam and Chester have received very strong hypercharges, so I believe the whole match is just going to roll around them now. Hank, probably still one of the best brawlers. He was the most banned brawler in every single region of the monthly finals in the last week, so he's definitely still going to be up there, but maybe some new ones coming in.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Hank nerf is very interesting, but Chester as well right now, till they do the nerf for Chester, it's going to be very impressive. I wouldn't be surprised to see it being picked up a lot, because the nerf is quite substantial for Chester. Meg, I don't know if the hypercharge is all that viable, but it also gets a nerf in the upcoming balance changes. So I think this is the opportunity to use some of those more broken strategies, or you might have to ban them out altogether. We saw a lot of discourse on social media about draft versus skill, and draft is also a skill, but at the end of the day, it's all about adaptability in this very new Brawl Stars esports world that we're in right now, Sunny.
It is truly an ever-changing meta and also an ever-changing landscape of brawlers and teams overall. We have so many new teams, especially in the GKR, which I am so happy to see that there's also some new teams making it into such big tournaments. And maybe we'll also see them soon in the BSC as well. Have a look at the predictions now here, Panda. We disagree in only a single point. Pew disagrees in the last match, which is even a bigger surprise for me. Not putting Reply Totem, the one of the oldest teams in Brawl Stars, we all know them, at the top here. But let's talk a bit about the first match here. Why do you believe Reverso takes this one?
Like I said, Reverso really needs this, whereas Experian is already kind of out. I'm not saying that Experian aren't going to give it their all, but it's now or never for Reverso, really. And I think that we're going to see the Reverso that we saw in the monthly finals. They did really well in the monthly finals, I have to say. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them take down Experian NXT. Experian NXT, they haven't had the best week last week. They didn't have the best time of the monthly finals either. So they are in a sort of a come down situation right now, Sunny.
That is very true. Sadly, they also couldn't play in one of their matches. Experience wasn't around, so that's why they're also sitting on minus points at the moment. That's why, as you mentioned, they are not really in the race to making it into the playoffs anymore, but they can still play for some honor and glory today. And I just looked at the previous match, honestly. So we are in a double round robin. That means every single matchup that happens today happened before in the previous week, 2 weeks ago actually, in day 2 of the GKR. Experian faced against Reverso Gaming, and Experian took that one 2-1. That's basically why I voted that they will take it again.
Yeah, I think that Experian definitely is a squad which is really strong, though I feel like the recent past has marred a little bit of their aura that they farmed over the course of the last 1 month. So, I mean, I would like to see them win, obviously, but I don't know. I just want Reverso to have that storyline, which means that they came out of a situation where it was improbable for them to make it to the playoffs. So it would be nice to see them make it there. But if you talk about a little bit more of the predictions, I think there is a common consensus more or less throughout. The only variance was in the first and the last match where Pew was contrarian with the Popper Supermassive versus Reply Totem. And I think that Reply Totem, people really need to respect Reply Totem. I feel like they aren't getting the respect that they ought to have. But that being said, Reply Totem haven't had the best showing, and they are in that conversation of underdogs now, which is unprecedented, because they usually are in that conversation of being the team which really dominates the meta in EMEA. So it is surprising to see Reply Totem in that conversation, Sunny.
It's so interesting to see, right? Reply Totem, they didn't make it to every single monthly final so far. They're not looking as strong as people expected. If we just talk about the players there, Chaos, Maori and Maru, that have been playing together since I can think, really. It really seems like one of the strongest teams, but that is only the last match of the day. So people at home watching, definitely stay tuned for that one. It should be a banger. For now, we're heading into our match number 1, Reverso Gaming versus Experian NXT. Both of those teams fairly new to the competitive scene. They freshly came together for this year, and yet they had some bigger or smaller achievements already. Experian NXT also made it into the monthly final. Reverso Gaming with one of the best stats in GKR overall. I believe Rob has the best KD ratio ever. And yet still, both of them are sitting at the bottom in their group at a 1 win, 3 loss result overall.
That is quite good, I guess, overall for NXT, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing how Arthur, Amos, and Hex really bring out their A game. That being said, Reverso have been consistent, actually, for some of the more up-and-coming teams here. They've been quite consistent in the BSC and their performances in the recent past, so I'm quite happy with how things are turning out for them. But obviously, like I've mentioned, this is their last opportunity to make it to the playoff stages, and they don't really have an easy competition here. Just winning this isn't enough for them. They also have to prey on the downfall of Popper Supermassive. They need Reply Totem and win that match, so it's not completely in their hands, which is unfortunate for them. But you know, you're going to take all the opportunities that you can to come out on top here, Sunny.
It could be really either way, Panda, if we're heading into this match soon. Sorry, at this point, I'm just like, I'm always for not calling anyone out, but at this point, it's getting ridiculous. We can talk a bit more about the hypercharges. They've waited with the hypercharges to bring them out. They didn't want to disturb the SA and NA monthly finals with such new changes. Now, for this tournament, we have them only since 2 days though. The players had time just since Monday to get a bit familiar with the hypercharges so far, and as I mentioned, Chester and Sam definitely in the meta now. They could push out some other tankier options, because Chester is a tank counter, Sam is a tank himself, so maybe we will see a little less Primo and Frank than we saw in the time.
Yeah, it could be possible. I just feel like with the exclusion of Primo and Frank and some of the more tanky brawlers, it also might make it so that brawlers like Ollie aren't picked up as much, because you don't need to really shut down oppositions as much. And I feel like the best opposition to go after is a tanky option. So with some of the tanky brawlers being removed from the equation because they aren't going to be as oppressive, it just makes it less prevalent for Ollie. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I feel like that follows some logic.
That is definitely true. So maybe a meta shift. Maybe we will see some more interesting brawlers. We also saw the meta shift between the different regions. In EA, for example, we saw Shade come out. In South America, they really value Juju quite highly. We're still in EMEA, so we saw a lot of Stu. Lou was quite high up there, together with the usual ones, Hank, Ollie, the ones we've mentioned already. So I'm really eager to see how they will do today, as today we're only playing in knockout.
Do you think the NA Carl is going to be coming out today? Or do you think that the Carl picks were slightly overestimated from that sub-region?
Could be possible. Carl coming out here as well. He was in a stable mid, I'd say, also in the other region. So I do think Carl is in a fairly decent spot. His hypercharge might not be one of the strongest, but he was in a good spot already before he received hypercharge 2 weeks ago, I think. But yes, as I mentioned, we're only watching Hypercharge. We're only watching
Hypercharge.
Panda. Let's have a look at the maps, maybe.
Yeah, I believe the maps are going to be Bell's Rock, Out in the Open, and Gold Arm Gulch. So all the standard knockout maps, which you usually see in competitive, are here. And for Bell's Rock, you're going to have your throwers. You might have a little bit of Kid Daryl shenanigans. You're going to definitely have some snipers on either lane, just to give a little bit of rounding out for the compositions involved. Out in the Open, you might want that wall break for the mid, or maybe some brawler that can actually walk over water, which would be something like Angelo or Eve. Gold Arm Gulch, you can have Jean. I think Jean's a really great brawler all around here for this specific game mode. So there are lots of different options that you could go for. I mean, right now the meta is still evolving, Sunny.
Yeah, meta is going to be something we're talking a lot about today. I also want to talk more about the maps here. Bell's Rock, a very open map. You can decide to just break open everything, apart from the 2 metal blocks that we see there in mid. You can still play a lot of throwers, but what we've seen here quite often was Brock, Gray, just anything to open up. Grand Piano coming out of the Gray way more often now than the Kane, so also the gadget changes have switched the meta a tiny little bit, have had an effect in it. Same thing with Out in the Open, a lot of breaking brawlers, usually the ones that can walk over water, like Angelo or just banned out. And the Golden Gulch, it's probably the most interesting map to me, because you can literally play everything between.
That is true. I mean, there's so many different options and so many different nucleuses that you could go for, and I think it really comes down to preference for these teams. And honestly, I think that sometimes taking the stronger options, which are more prevalent in the meta, might just be better than trying to be contrarian and stick to something that your team might be more comfortable with. Because right now, the meta is dictated by rock, paper, scissors. Despite having 6 bans, a lot of people feel that those number of bans aren't enough to make a big dent into the rock, paper, scissors situation that we're facing right now. And honestly, I think that it's just very, very, very first pick dependent. I've just looked at the win rates, and it seems like if you get first pick in the recent meta, you're most likely going to be getting those dubs. It's not to say that obviously skill, it's still important. Like, for example, if you look at the NA match between Tribe Gaming and BC Gaming had the draft in most of the matchups, but Tribe Gaming would just outdiff them in terms of skill. So yes, draft matters, but skill still matters, where you can come back even if you have a negative draft. But obviously the first picks matter so much in this current meta, Sunny.
That is very true. First pick matters. Last pick can also have a great impact on how the match is going down, though. We have seen a couple of examples in the last weekend where last pick was just fit so perfectly into a comp, had no real counter like the Carl, for example. If you don't have anything to knock him out of his ult, no stun on the opponent's sides, then he's just so much stronger than if you had someone that could do that. So I do believe both sides have their advantages. Yes, so for anyone wondering, we're just still waiting for a player to come into lobby. 5 players are ready and waiting. We're waiting as well, so let's hope this player is waking up soon, and we're gonna be able to start into our very first match of the day as soon as possible, so bear with us here.
Yeah, we apologize for the inconvenience. Obviously, it would be amazing if all the players and all the teams were ready all the time. But sometimes, things happen where you're unprepared for whatever reason. Maybe there might be an issue with the Wi-Fi or something's happening to your device, and you freak out in those moments. So hopefully, things get ironed out and sorted, and the teams can participate. But let's see, we have another 2 minutes for the teams to show up, and if one of them don't really show up, then we might have to move on to the next game. But that's still a conversation for 2 minutes from now, Sunny.
Again, I'm the last person to call anyone out, but this is not the first time this has happened, and it's confirmed that it was just because of sleep. So my patience hasn't ended, even my patience, and I work in a hospital, so my patience is immense, but yet still, I want to pass the Monstars today. So let's hope that the players are ready soon. If not, we're heading into match number 2 straight away. So we're going to see. Oh, we have an information now. Official information is that we're going to cancel the first match. Unfortunately, Experian NXT didn't make it to their match today, so congrats to Reverso. They take this 2-0 win. Let's see if it's going to be enough for them to get a win next week, the day number 6, to still make it into the playoffs. And we're going to head into match number 2 straight away, Panda.
I believe it's actually not straight away. It's a 15-minute wait time for the next match. So we're going to be coming back in 15 minutes. But just to reiterate about what has happened so far, Experian NXT didn't show up today. They didn't show up for another 2 match days, I believe, as well. So that was obviously unfortunate for them. So I'm not sure what happened, what fell through the cracks. So hopefully things are sorted out for them, and I hope that they can get back on track. But unfortunately, that means that we aren't going to be having this match today. That means that Reverso Gaming still has an opportunity to make it to the playoffs, but their lives are going to be dangling by a thread because they have to basically prey on the downfall of Pop Rock Supermassive versus Reply Totem, because the last match day is going to be Reverso versus Pop Rock Supermassive, which might be a banger because it's going to be sudden death if Reply Totem happens to win the final match today. So that's still something to talk about, but we are going to be taking a relatively large-ish break of 15 minutes till we get the next teams to get back and get started. I apologize for this, chat. I really do, but unfortunately these things happen and we have to deal with them.
See you in a bit.
Bye. Make sure to use code SUN and code PAN in whatever shops. In any Supercell game. Would appreciate it.
Stay tuned though. My predictions I've lost so far. Panda did vote that Verso would take this first one, so I guess Panda, congrats to you. But yeah, as you mentioned before, Verso still has it in their own hands as well. They play Power Supermassive next week. If Power Supermassive loses their last match of today, but Verso still has a chance to make it into the playoffs, so that's going to be a story to unfold in only 1 week.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys in 15 minutes after a break. See ya.
Get down to the baseline.
the night lay waste to all we'd given. But honestly, you've gotta know that this ain't living. But we could run from Elysium and let it burn, let it burn. You've gotta know that nothing lasts forever. I can't believe myself. I never thought that this would be our end. But it's nothing.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to GKR EMEA 2025. We are back after quite a long break between. Sorry, I'm just at a loss for words for what just happened. But anyway, we're back. I am Panda. That is Sunny. Nice to see you guys. I hope you guys are doing good. I'm bombing. But we did have our first match, which was Reverso versus Experian NXT, which Reverso took with a 2-0 because of a free win, as Experian was a no-show. Now we're going to go into Dark Eagles versus FA Schnitzel. With FA Schnitzels is completely out of the tournament. They have no way of getting back in this one. They've lost every single match in this group stage. Dark Eagles, on the other hand, are just narrowly tailing their competition, as LC Esports is up by 3 points, which means that it's a 1-win difference. Basically, Dark Eagles needs to win this to keep their hopes alive, and a win here would keep them in contention in this tournament. But that is if they can put a pin in Schnitzel, which is a side that has nothing to lose in this one, Sonny.
Yeah, wait to set the stage, Panda. It's really exciting still because Dark Eagles needs to win their match. They're so far 2-2 in their group, and Schnitzel is 0-4. So they haven't won a single match so far. They can still win this one just for some honor and glory, and at least take this one W at home, even though they might not be able to make it still into the playoffs. With Eclipse R and LSC Esports in this Group B being the strong top of this group, winning 3 of their matches, losing only 1. So Dark Eagles needs to win today and also next week, and one of the other 2 needs to lose their match. And oh well, they're playing against each other today, LSC and ECP, so one of them is gonna lose anyway. So if Dark Eagles win this one, they would be at the same stage, at the same result overall, 3-2 in this group. Heading into the draft straight away, though, we're heading into Bell's Rock. We talked a bit about this map already, Panda. A very open map. You can decide to break open the walls and play a bit more long-ranged options, like we have the Angelo here, banning out Hank, one of the top banned brawlers in all 4 regions in the monthly finals. So double ban here makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and we see a double ban of Mr. P as well, with Gray and Mandy coming out. Now with these double bans, which we have 2 of, it opens up 2 more brawlers in the selection pool for the players. We have Gina and RT being brought out by Dark Eagles. I like this composition because with RT, if you hit a shot and with Gene, if you sprinkle, you're going to get a lot of damage and you're going to get a lot of value. So it does make sense. And RT in the last dying stages of the game has its ability to be in its Jackie form, let's say. And it does a lot of damage. You got to be careful in that situation. Bell's going to be coming out on the other side. Bell's great for this RT because similar range, but you can also mark down the opponent, which is going to be very good. The tick as well is beautiful in conjunction with the composition that we have right now with Bell and Angelo. The last pick here by Dark Eagles needs to be something which is a moderating influence, because they are lacking in range. They're going to go for Ollie here, which I find very interesting as a pick here, Sunny.
I mean, looking at those brawlers also on the opponent's side, we don't have a single brawler who can break up in a map, so taking a tank here makes a lot of sense. Ollie can also jump over those walls, going aggressively against the squishy brawlers from the side of Schnitzel here. Oh, Schnitzel. I'm sure they want it to be called Schnitzel, no? Just a German meal. Traditional German.
I mean, I thought so too. I'm just calling them Schnitzel, honestly.
They're Schnitzel. Anyway, we have the 3 Turkish players on one side for Dark Eagles, Masters, Xerox, and Carissa, and then Spanish from the beginning, with other done in conflict. Heading into our very first match of the day now, and we have 2 very interesting players with no new hypercharges so far in this.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting underway here. It's the first match of the day. Good tag coming in, and an amazing gadget from Bogdan as well. Carissa pops his gadget just to make sure that the Angelo is pushed back a little bit. Jump coming in from Master, even going on to Angelo, slightly not committing there. Could have probably got the kill, but probably a better decision just to stay alive there, Sunny.
Master's playing this one, he has to go in aggressively. He's the tank of his team. At first, here probably Carissa can get rid of him. Does have a heal, but Master confirms the kill there. Now also dispatches Bogdan in mid, and it's a 1v3 to take on too much. Just deciding to go into smoke now, not to feed his enemy. So great first round here from the side of Dark Eagles. They also have double super now for the RT and the Gene. So a lot of pressure on their side.
And in the second round, we really need Schnitzel to come back here because they are down. Master is going to go in very aggressively. Can't actually jump over these walls, which makes it a bit scary for the tick to face, but these marks are really good. Master nearly getting out alive here. There's going to be a hypercharge coming in. The tick head doesn't meet its mark here, so a lot of value there being squandered by the side of Schnitzel, but good job by Master to dispatch that tick head nonetheless.
I do like this round a little better for Schnitzel. They are getting pressure back into spawn. They're now falling as well, but at least they had some showings. Now getting the takedown onto Master, equalizing the score overall in a 2v2. Don't be fools, 1v2 once again. Bogdan is the last hope for them, and he can't make it. It's gonna be Dark Eagles taking this first game off the hands of Schnitzel. And again, I like the round 2 a bit better. Maybe they can come back even stronger into this game number 2.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's still just the first game, right? So you have a ways back here. We're going to go in the second one. Dark Eagles were quite convincing in the first one. Let's see how Schnitzel ends up playing this one, Sonny. They have to be a bit more deliberate with the way they're playing this composition.
I feel like they just can't get pressured as much anymore. Master managing to get some pressure onto them again and again now. Also facing in a 1v1 against him. Bogdan needs to be ready there to help out his teammate. Dompe can't really do much on his tick, so a lane switch would be in place there, I believe. Just putting the tick on one lane so the 2 long-ranged snipers can help out each other a bit more. Or that this first round is already going the way of Dark Eagles again.
Yeah, it just seems like Dark Eagles really haven't been in this first. Is being allowed to farm his super. That's what he's trying to do there, and he gets it, which is perfect, actually. You see the entirety of the team of Dark Eagles with their supers, which is exactly what you want in that situation. There is going to be a hypercharge by Bogdan, so he could use it to mark down Master. And I think that Master is probably the linchpin of the Dark Eagle side because he's been making these plays which really shut down the Angelo repeatedly and consistently. But this time, he's being a bit more passive. I mean, they have the game. Right now, they need Schnitzel to play into them instead, Sonny.
Again, it does look a little better Like you said, Panda Schnitzel needs to do something here, otherwise they're gonna get pressured so much again by that Gene Pool. Gene Pool missed. That's the opportunity now for Schnitzel to attack themselves. Ult also out of Adri on the left-hand side. Can maybe pressure him back a tiny bit. Farissa is very low on the left-hand side. Healing up now. Bogdan with a hypercharge. Misses his target. Doesn't look too good for Schnitzel here.
Yeah, Master going in. He jumps over the wall. He is not going to be doing much here as Farissa gets taken out. Now Master and Xerox, the last two alive. Xerox, the only one. Audrey goes down to Xerox, but it's going to be a bit too late. And this is Schnitzel right off the mark here, Sonny. Finally.
Schnitzel finally taking a round, but they are still far away from taking this set. Xerox has his ult on one side, Bogdan on the other side. If he can hit a mark here, would be most important to hit that one on the Ollie. Misses it again. Bogdan not so lucky with his ults today. Dumping over the hypercharge. Take ult available on the right hand side. Let's see if he can use it to get some pressure themselves, because once again Schnitzel find themselves in spawn.
Sorry about the slurp chat. I was trying to hydrate. Now we see, lots of hypercharge coming down. Ardry as well. A place down, take hypercharge, but it doesn't meet its mark. And despite all of the value, they haven't managed to get a single kill here with those two hypercharges, which is unfortunate for the side of Schnitzel. Good way to completely shut down this offensive with Dark Eagles. And right now, it's Dark Eagles' turn to really come out and shine, Sonny.
Master jumping in. Hypnosis doesn't hit anyone. Adri falls regardless. 2v2 though. Master gets dispatched as well. Ticket attacking Xerx's legs. Xerx still can't reconnect. Gets taken out as well. And this is an opportunity for Schnitzel. They do take that one, equalizing the score in this very first set of Bell's Rock. I liked a lot better what we saw here from Schnitzel. As I said, they need to make some pressure on themselves, and they managed to do so.
That was a nice clutch from Bogdan, I gotta say. Like, amazing job from Schnitzel. They're off the mark. They are back in this competition. It is tied at 1 apiece here, and this last game is going to decide who is going to be the victor of the set. We're going to go into game number 3, the first round right here, and Master doing the same Master things that he did in the first one, where he is just using his gadget, jump over walls, and just shut down the Angelo. And he is up on this left-hand side, ensuring that Farissa has a little bit of an angle here just to get a little bit of value and just farm up that super. They've completely pushed back the side of Schnitzel all the way to spawn, Sunny.
Very good ticket here as well, pushing that Ollie away once again. Dumping now in a dangerous situation. Gus get hypnotized, gets his gadget off just in time though. Master now with an ult. Dumper gets sniped anyways from Xerox. It's a 3v2 once again.
Yeah, Master kind of going nuts here. He gets a kill on a Bogdan as well. Audrey, the last one on his team, but he is obviously going to fall. There wasn't really a way forward here. One more round is basically what Dark Eagles need. But can Schnitzel come back in this one, Sonny?
I do think they can. Angelo now with a ult. Again, placed a bit too defensively. He would have had to place it much further away to actually do something with it. His super runs out and he hasn't hit a single shot with it. That's very unfortunate. Probably does have a gadget left in case the team wants to pull him. Angelo shouldn't be looking too bad. Double jump now from Master. Coming in with the Ollie.
Wow.
Getting a triple here almost.
Oh my god.
The last hit was actually by Xerox. So double takedown by the Ollie. Last hit by the RT. Very well played here from Dark Eagles overall. They're turning things around after losing the second game and taking the win overall in this set very convincingly.
That was such a good Ollie game. Oh my god. I was expecting Ollie to go kind of crazy, but not to that extent. I feel like the plays were immaculate by the entire team of Dark Eagles to coming together and synergizing to that extent, pushing back the Schnitzel side. I feel that the Angelo pick didn't really work out for them at all. We had scenarios where the Angelo had his super and had their super, and we're putting it all the way back and not really getting value, because one of the best ways to obviate the utility that Angelo's super brings to the table is just move away. if you're away from the Angelo and you're away from the radius of that super, you're basically in a good position. And they just kept doing that. And whenever the Gene had its super, the Angelo is completely shut down. So I really like the execution coming in from the side of Dark Eagles, but I feel like Schnitzel wasn't really all together with their synergy there, Sunny.
It really looked like Dark Eagles knew what they were doing. They are the Dark Horse in this match, you could say. They knew exactly what to pick. Had a phenomenal comp in my eyes here with the Ollie. I would have liked to see some of the new brawlers come out of them as well, like the Chester, the Sam, all the brawlers that did receive their hypercharge this week. But with this very traditional comp, you could say, looking at the last 4 match days we had in the monthly finals, they certainly knew what they needed to win this set. And now we are heading into our map number 2 out in the open. It's the map that you usually want to open up the walls or play something to walk over water, since otherwise the only option to get into mid here really is going to be that right hand side.
Yeah, and I do not envy any of the esports players. The pro players right now have it so difficult right now to figure out the meta, but to do it today, which is like 2 days after hypercharges have come out, it is very difficult when your tournament hopes are on the line to figure out which hypercharges are going to work. There are 6 of them: Buster's plot armor, Chester's crunchy chewy gooey, Grom's Grom bomb goes boom, Lola's inflated ego, Meg's tungsten toughness, and Sam's hyperfist. All of these are the new hypercharges. So I am surprised to see that none of these teams are opting to pick it up, because I feel like if you have a very strong option which people don't really know how to play against, that is the best opportunity to actually blow the competition wide open. So it is surprising to see that teams aren't opting for that anarchy and the chaos, which these new hypercharges can bring to the table, Sunny.
I would like to see it just also so we can learn a bit from them, Panda. It's always nice to see the players that already familiarize themselves a bit with the new meta playing with those new brawlers, what could work alongside it. Goss, for example, I think that would be a phenomenal addition to any Sam comp here. We did see that in the past as well, way before Sam received his hypercharge, before he dropped out of the meta. Going for Pearl here first. And now I think Schnitzel needs to opt for something like Juju, maybe, just to have something to go with the left-hand side, or to break open the walls. His bend out here, maybe Ray could be an option here with Grand Piano to still open it. But Meeple, of course, also always a choice. Oh, there he is. You can always just decide to use your super to shoot through that wall instead of actually walking through it.
Yeah, Meeple has a lot of utility on a map, specifically this one. The unbreakable walls, along with the walls as it is, just make Meeple that much more of a threat here. You can just shut down people with the Mansions of Meeple gadget, or with the super as well. Bell's going to be coming out. I think Bell makes a lot of sense, because you're going to have people clump up in the bushes and whatnot. So Bell, along with the fact that Meeple can bring so much of variance in the squad, I think is a really good pick. Squeak is going to be the last pick here. Mr. P was open, by the way, mind you. And Mr. P would have been amazing into this Bell Gene composition, I would say. So it is surprising that they go for Squeak, but Squeak is still a really good pick here, Sonny.
I do like the Squeak. It offers a lot of area control in a map like this, especially we see that Schnitzel has nothing to break open the map, so we can basically just walk up and close those left-hand side openings from his opponents off to not let them come into the map whatsoever. Heading into our second match here, let's see if Dark Eagles can extend their lead even more. And we see we missed a little bit of the start, but it does look like Xerox had some good attacks on the left-hand side, so his opponents don't have a chance to even come into mid.
Very aggressive start coming in from Dark Eagle Schnitzel. Once again, a second map in a row where they're pushed back all the way to spawn, which is unfortunate. But first round, without really any hiccups, goes to Dark Eagles, and they're looking quite fierce here, Sonny.
Jump head is not getting used so far. He's just waiting for his opponent opportunity here on the left-hand side. Master now coming in. Dompe quite low, has to pull back here, almost gets sniped out by Master here. And they do actually hit that pull. Very important for them. It's a 3-2 situation now, which you should usually win, but looking at the positioning, Dark Eagle still has a lot of mid control here on the blue side of things.
And I disagree with that hypercharged Xerox use right there. It wasn't going to confirm any kills. I'm not sure why he went for it, and now all that utility is gone. He's going to be using another super there just to get Audrey slowed down, and Audrey is still not being picked off. It is still a 2v3. Better control from the side of Dark Eagles, but now a kill being confirmed to Dompe kind of blows this one right open. Oh, huge gadget, double kill, and that is Schnitzel taking their first round of knockout in this set, Sunny.
This is phenomenal to see Schnitzel coming back into the match after it didn't really look like they could do much, they had to say, in that first round. Now they have triple ult available. Hypercharge on the bell as well. Schnitzel is the best opportunity to take the set off the hands of Dark Eagles now, to let them come in. Hypercharge now also already on Jean, popped immediately. Doesn't connect with Marissa. That's very unfortunate. Still gets a takedown onto the squeak. It's a 3v2 situation now. Another gadget coming out of Dompe. Let's see if he can make use of it. Ult popped. Master should fall here. Phenomenal played here by Schnitzel.
That's a great play from Schnitzel here. They are surely going to get the kill onto Farissa, and that's going to seal it. That's going to be first game for the side of Schnitzel, and they're already off the mark. We see the smile coming from Audrey. He knows that maybe they have something going here. Yes, the first game went first round went the way of the side of Dark Eagles, but Schnitzel really came back, and they had that nerves of steels, which is required in esports to really be a threat here, Sunny.
They can be a threat if they only have their ults ready, but now heading into this game again, Dark Eagles seem to set the pace here for the start of the round once again, going in very aggressively, actually playing it a bit slower than the first round we saw. They are a bit scared of what just happened in the previous round.
Indeed, and Xerox putting out his gadget there. Mansions of people coming out on this left-hand side. It's going to completely push Dark Eagles back to spawn. Master also going to be regrouping with his team, and now they have to wait and try to fight their way back in the mid. And I feel like once you lose mid control on a map like this, it's very, very hard to come back, especially since you don't have a guaranteed way of really closing down that gap between you and the other team. But here, Master goes in. Mansions of Meeple coming out clutch at the right moment. But Dompe is low. Farissa finds the value. Master takedown Bogdan, and it's going to be a round for the side of Dark Eagles here, Sunny.
Dark Eagles coming back in strong. They do want to take this one 2-0 overall. We're only in the best of 3, so whoever takes 2 sets will win it all in the end. Being with an ult available, that could be another takedown for Schnitzel. Best case scenario if you can turn every single gene pool into a kill, which is a huge advantage in any knockout round. Some bouncing shots coming in from the bell now. Great hit onto Farissa. Xerox quite low as well. And the Pearl on the bottom left now finally deciding to participate in this match.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the best decisions as a Pearl player. You want to get your rage up all the way, otherwise you're not going to get that damage, and you catch off teams completely off guard. If you suddenly come into play, you kind of discount them, and here we see Mansions of Meeple along with that super completely shuts down Xerox, gets the kill as well. Bogdan has his hypercharge, which he can opt to use here with the Master being already tagged up. That's great. Master's going to be very low. He's going to be a sprinkle away from being taken out, and he does get taken out. Now it's just Bogdan and Dompe versus Farissa, and I think Farissa can try something, but it's just going to be futile as they get taken out. And now it is Schnitzel which tie this up and take the second round.
It really looks like they've found their groove now on out in the open. Didn't look the strongest on Bells and Rock, but now with another hypercharge gene pull ready, they should be able to take this one if he only connected hypercharge. Available for the bell now. She hit up that Gus quite badly. Survives it barely just thanks to his ult. Hypercharge now popped on Bogdan. Can he connect his gene pool or not? He actually lets it run out without ever pulling. Maybe that's the better choice here, considering nobody ever was in his reach.
Yeah, I think that just pushes people back just a little bit. Xerox with a little bit of a prayer with that gadget doesn't really connect. It is unfortunate for the side of Dark Eagles that Farissa has already been marked up, and he is going to be quite low, has to move back, and now we see Master finally making his attempt on the left-hand side, gets shut down almost immediately. Bogdan's going to be low, but Farissa being marked up is going to be huge, and he gets taken down. Oh my god, so does Xerox, and that's going to be the second set being taken by the side of FA Schnitzel, and they've tied this up at 1 apiece, forcing a set number 3, Sonny.
Unfortunately, today we didn't get to see our very first match of the day, but this second one promises to shape up into a much more interesting one than we expected. We thought that Dark Eagles should take this one. Schnitzel so far didn't win a single one of their matches, not against Dark Eagles either. They already faced up against each other, and it was a 2-0 overall. So seeing them now come back stronger, having like a last sign of hope here on day 5, maybe even next week again for day 6, they come back even stronger. I would love to see that. Definitely the underdog in this matchup, Panda, but they do have what it takes to take this set off Dark Eagles now. And the match day.
That is certainly true. I mean, you want to get wins, right? You don't want to be the team that's lost every single match. And so far right now, Schnitzel is that team. But it seems like they have an opportunity to turn that narrative on its head. So I think that they're definitely going to be trying in this third and final set on Gold Arm Gulch. Going into some of the brawlers that we usually expect in this map, at least in EMEA, Hank is picked up a lot, as is Kit, along with Gray and Gus. So these are pretty common picks. I wouldn't be surprised to see them being banned out, but we still got to talk about those hypercharges, which it seems like these teams are not really, I guess, taking seriously, or maybe they're just afraid of giving it a shot. I think this is probably the best chance for them to really, try it out and see what works.
I would have expect some of the more experienced teams to bring out some riskier comps later on. So definitely looking forward to, for example, Humble versus that face Niggets, our next match in line. For them, I do think they showed us some great drafts here. Definitely oriented on the monthly final the previous weekend in EMEA. So a map like Gold Arm Gulch even featured some Lou. I wouldn't be too surprised to see him come out here as well. Of course, you can also go Angelo again, a brawler that they have liked before. Mr. P would be a great option, but mostly banned out here again by Schnitzel. Gene banned out here as well. Ollie, they both seem to know what they're doing with the draw.
I like these bans make a lot of sense here because they're just so centralizing the meta, and right now you have to ban some of these brawlers, otherwise your opponents are going to be getting. Sometimes you just ban brawlers so that you don't want to face them, but sometimes you pick brawlers specifically so that it's like another ban of sorts. Maybe it's not a brawler that you're happy with, but it's a brawler that you're happy with not facing, if that makes sense. And Tick is going to be picked up first by Dark Eagles here, with Mandy going to be a reply on the other side. And Mandy has a 57% pick rate. Gus is still available. Wouldn't be surprised if they want to pair up the Mandy with the Gus, but let's see how that goes, Sunny.
I'm not too sure about this Tick as first pick. Always kind of risky to go in with a thrower right away, but Tick is probably the best option if you want to have a thrower on a map like this. Juju quite strong here as well, but Tick just offers something also if a bit more of an aggressive brawler would come too close. With that gadget, you can always get out of harm's way pretty quickly. Although now coming in as well, double long range brawler on the side of Schnitzel. Dark Eagles still has the option to pick a Piper, for example, Nani, a lot of long range options, or of course they could go with a tank counter again. Just in case Schnitzel decides to go with a tank at last, and there she is as well, the Pearl. They already played her on the previous map. Didn't really do much in my eyes. They didn't manage to win them in the end, but they seem to really like this brawler.
Yeah, I just think that if you are caught sleeping that Pearl is going to be scary. Finally, we get a brawler with a new hypercharge. We get Buster coming out, so that is going to be interesting to see how Dark Eagles are going to play around with that. But Schnitzel, they have a lot more range here. I think that certainly there's going to be scenarios where Buster is going to pull somebody accidentally who's overcommitted on the Schnitzel side, so they have to be careful. But I like the Schnitzel comp a lot because Lou's going to be a big threat for both Buster and Pearl, and the Angelo as well, along with the Mandy. But I don't know, I just feel like Dark Eagles might have something special here, Sonny.
They definitely went with a bit more, let's say, crazier comp here, with the Buster bringing in a new idea. I'm very surprised to see a Buster, not a Sam. I believe that his hypercharge is way stronger than the Buster ones, but we'll see what Master can do with him. He's a tank player on this team. We've seen him come in with the Ollie before, so definitely an experienced player, and now already with supercharged. Well,
you seldom see Buster in Knockout, but I feel like this map is quite conducive to this Buster pick because I'm not sure if you remember back in the day when Buster first came out, we saw Navi, the old Navi from EU, pick it up, and I remember Cube running it on this map specifically, and he completely outclassed entire teams, like prime reply totem with Joker back in the day, and he completely outclassed them with this Buster pick. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Buster coming out on top. Already has the hypercharge as well. Bogdan going very aggressive on Farissa, and now we finally see the hypercharge coming out, and he completely obviates the super from Mandy as well. So it's really paid dividends for them here, Sonny. It's worked out flawlessly.
that was a phenomenal timing from the Buster there. Completely obliterated Mandy's opportunity to get an easy takedown onto the tick, especially. Very well played by them. Using a super now early to go up against the Slow, sneaking up on their own side of things. I do think the loop pick was actually the best idea that Schnitzel had here. The only option they really had to go against this combo. Hypercharge coming out of the Mandy now this time around. She does find the target. Two players full on the side of Dark Eagles. Masters the last man standing. Filzer survives a fair bit, I have to say here, but this is unwinnable, Panda.
Yeah, I think they don't want Master to get the hypercharge, but I mean, that's inevitable considering how Buster works. It's still going to be this round going to the side of Schnitzel. I really like that Mandy hypercharge just completely shut down the other team. So that's something that Dark Eagles have to be very careful about. You don't want to be feeding the Mandy. Mandy already has her super, so that hypercharge is probably not going to be too far away.
Yeah, Buster is a really interesting one. He doesn't have the tank trait, so he doesn't get super by just getting hit. Great takedown there. Saverox fools. What a hypercharge ult coming out of the Lu. So far, I believe, every single time one of the two teams had a hypercharge available, they turned it into an opportunity to get a takedown. Yeah,
I mean, if you're facing this Buster composition, it's all go, go, go. You can't afford to stay back in your spawn. You have to be aggressive. You have to push the Buster out of his comfort zone. And that's what they did. But right now we see Buster once again going with the hypercharge. But I feel like it's a prayer rather than anything else. Hypercharge coming out from Farissa as well. Master with his gadget. Could be taken out nonetheless. And now Farissa is the lone man alive on his team. He's going to be taken out. That's what a game for Schnitzel. And now it's Schnitzel on match point. They are one game away from taking their first ever win in this GKR tournament, Sonny.
A best of 3 feels so short, but still, we have to remind ourselves here, this would actually be a reverse sweep if they managed to pull this off. They already had the match point, I believe, on the side of Dark Eagles. Schnitzel turning everything around and now about to take this one. They are on match point now and could take this whole thing. It would be a point for them that couldn't really change things anymore. I stand corrected, Panda, if you did some other maths. But yeah, I don't think they can still make it to the playoffs, but it would still be such a satisfying win for them today.
Yeah, it's not possible. It's mathematically impossible for them to win here. I mean, to make it to the playoff stage. But them winning here, it's going to ensure that Dark Eagles can't make it. So, I mean, if you can't win, you can play Spoil Sport. So, I think that that's something that they're going to definitely try to do here. Dark Eagles need this win here, and it's going to be now or never for them. They do have hypercharges here, so they have a little bit of utility online, but I think that that cheese is kind of over already. Big super coming from Dompe, finds Farissa. Master going to use his hypercharge. Zayrock's going to be low. He gets stunned, gets taken out. Master the only one alive on his team, but they are not relenting. They are not giving the space. Ooh, Master finds 1 kill, but it's not going to be enough as the side of Dark Eagles take the L in this first round. Is this one more round, Sunny, for Schnitzel?
That was definitely a nice try there from Master in the end. I believe they did so well with their aggressive gameplay in the first 2 sets. Now in the 3rd set, they are playing it so slowly and it doesn't really seem to work out because one of them is always falling before the smoke comes in. Hypercharge already on the Mandy on the right hand side. I just have my eyes glued to her there. What can she do with it? Hypercharge also ready on the Lou. This is gonna be so tough for Dark Eagles to win this one still.
Yeah, it's almost, I mean, I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's very improbable for them to take this dub unless we see some Buster shenanigans. And right now we do have Buster using his super. I think right after the Buster uses super is probably when Dompe should go for the hypercharge, but opts not to use it. Not sure exactly why. They probably want to save it for the last engage here, Sunny. And as we go in, hypercharge being used, another hypercharge going in, finds the kill on a Master, and that just might be the death knell, Sunny.
Master this time around the first man to fall. The Lu hypercharge came out at the same time as the Mandy one, and Schnitzel takes this one with some beautiful timings of their hypercharge ults. I have to say I did not expect them to win this one today. I think we both voted for Dark Eagles to take this one.
I think it was unanimous.
I'm just happy. I'm just even happier that they did manage to take this one. Just for their own sake, taking a win today must feel so good.
Surely it's inspired a lot of confidence in them, and I think that they should be happy with this result. I mean, honestly, they were huge underdogs, all things considered, so this win is going to be huge for them, and this is going to be devastating for Dark Eagles, as now they're completely out of the tournament. They have no way forward. Even if they win the next match day, it's not possible for them to come here. I think that it's just heartbreak for the side of Dark Eagles, but congratulations to Schnitzel. You guys definitely can rest on your laurels. We're gonna take a short break of about 3 minutes, and we'll see you guys after the break. And I'm sorry for cutting you off, Sunny, but we'll see you guys in 3 minutes. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to GKR 2025 EMEA Brawl Stars Circuit. I am your host, Panicast, joined by the amazing Sunny Enough. Make sure to use code PAN and code SUN in all of the shops if you are buying anything. It would help us a lot. How are you doing today, Sunny? How were the matches so far?
I was super excited to be back today, back on the casting mic with you, Pen, of course, which we haven't done in so long. It's been a while since we last casted other tournaments. I believe that was like 2023.
Yeah, it's been a long
Have
time.
last worked together. So yes, I'm super excited. Also, we already had our first upsets today. FA Schnitzel actually winning against Dark Eagles. No one of the casters actually predicted that one. And I always love to see underdogs strive. So talking about underdogs, Panda, let's talk about FS Nuggets versus Humble today.
Yeah, this is, I think, it's a David versus Goliath story, but I don't know how adept David is to take on this Goliath squad here. It's FA Sniggets versus Humble, and FA Sniggets, if you guys aren't initiated, have Yannick, Cyanide, Scattered, and U4, whereas Humble, it's a pretty small team. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. There's this one guy who's kind of annoying on Twitter. His name is Semantic. And then there's this really young dude called Lukey, and this guy who's like very much into fitness right now called Boss. And these ragtag team of ruffians think that they can come into esports or something. I don't know if they can even measure up to the Snigget side. Let's see how that goes, Suddy.
I think they can even be excited to even have made it into the GKR League here. Humble, usually a very humble team that, even if you haven't heard from them before, you definitely will know them after today, because I think this is going to be a banger match. We already see those two teams face up against each other 2 weeks ago, day 2, and actually FS Nuggets managed to take a single set of Humble, which is already such a great achievement, honestly. We have 2 players that refuse to turn on their player cams. Guys, what's going on there? Show us your beautiful faces, please.
Yes, Cyanide and Lukey. We need to see them faces. But anyway, forget that. We're going to go back into esports. We're going to be serious people. It's going to be time for Bells Rock. We have our bans. It's Hank, Mr. P, RT, Kit, and Ollie. So that's 5 different brawlers being banned out. Humble decide to go for the Gene as the first pick here. Not surprising. Gene is really great as a win condition here. Let's see what Sniggets go for next, Sunny.
Gene, a great option. The best counter would probably be the Mr. P, but he's double banned out, so it's not an option anymore. I guess you could still go with Eve. You just want something with spawners to annoy the Gene as much as possible, to have something to put up against him, or you play something with a jump to jump out of the way of the Gene's pull. Angelo is certainly a good option here. They would do well with opening up the map here now, I think. The Brock also would have a jump, could open up the map along the line, so I think he would be an option here. Gray just as much with the teleport, with the Grand Piano to break open the map. Both would be a feasible option here, or of course you can always go with the Thrower. Juju or Tick is going to be the one that they decide to go with.
Yeah, taking Angelo, nice nucleus for composition. We've seen how oppressive Tick can be, especially in the later stages of the game when you don't have as much of area to move around with when the smoke does come billowing in. So I think Tick makes sense. Angelo, it can be a hit or a miss. We have Barry coming out. Yeah, I think Barry kind of slept on in the recent past because you have so many other broken brawlers that you forget that Barry is still a huge, massive threat all around. You have a lot of healing. It's a thrower as well, so you have all your bases covered with the Barry. The hypercharge is just so easy to get as well, especially on knockout where you have to hit your opponents. You don't need to do that with Barry, so it makes sense that it's being picked up, and we should have this last pick from Humble, which should be a sniper or a long range brawler, I have to say, but unfortunately, we don't get to see it right now.
What we did see is a single new brawler. We saw the Buster come out, a new hypercharge. 6 of those came out at the beginning of this week, and the players only had 2 days to really prepare with them. It's Buster, Chester, Grom, Lola, Mac, and Sam, and I do expect to see some more of those brawlers come out into this tournament later on.
Ooh, unfortunately, what happened is one of the teams disconnected. Not sure which team. So they're going to do their draft again. It's not going to be a different draft. It's going to be the same draft for sure. So I think what probably happened is maybe a device turned off, or maybe the Wi-Fi turned off or whatever for some reason. But, you know, we're reasonable people. So this happens from time to time. Apologies for the technical difficulties.
I have to explain this in advance. I'm Swiss, and we like to talk badly about our neighbors, Germany. So we have two Germans on the side of Humble. I wouldn't be surprised if their internet actually played up a bit today. So,
chat, this might just be a Humble hate stream. I don't know.
They're too good. Like, we have to play it down from time to time. Otherwise, their ego just gets too blown up, right? They can't win everything and then expect us to still be nice to them as well.
EU, bro, EU.
Heading into the draft once again, Daryl was the last pick coming out from Humble's side. Mm-hmm. And I do think they have the better comp with the Gene.
It's so good. You have Gene for the pull, you have the heals, you have the damage from Barry, and then like you don't even need to do anything with your Daryl. You can just stay back and get healed up. But Daryl is still going to be hammered by Yannick on this left-hand side. Yannick is not taking no for an answer. He's just going for it against this Daryl on this left-hand side.
I do like to see that come out of the side. Up by Fistniggets here, the logos are still gonna be switched in a moment. Scattered already with a tick head ready here as well. But again, I do like this coming out of Yannick. Then you need to play very aggressively before the Gene has his pull. Otherwise, as soon as Semantic has his pull, they will always have to be aware of that and play around it. It's quite dangerous to come too close. Once Semantic has ult, he does have it now. Hypercharge ready on the Barry as well. Ult ready on the Daryl. That could be Humble now coming in strong.
Yeah, Hypercharge is going to make sure that Boss can stay alive much stronger. Ooh, big pull coming in. Semantic goes down. Yannick is going to be taken down as well. And now it's going to be Boss versus Scattered and Lukey. Scattered can't probably find Lukey, but it's basically over as this first round goes to Humble.
Well played. They just played for their ults, their hypercharges, and used them as soon as they had them. Really clean from the side of Humble. Just what we expected from them, honestly. Again, Yannick trying to go in aggressively. That's exactly how you need to play here still. They do have the Pearl, so as soon as Cyanide has an ult, they could at least deal with the Daryl a bit. Oh, that was some nice connection here from Cyanide with Lukey. He almost went down, was left with 100 HP and just survived. Cyanide now falling. That's a free lane for Boss now on that Daryl. We don't have a bowler that can really go up against him now.
Ooh, Lukey was on a solo mission. Nice pull coming in. Yannick gets taken out. Now Boss gonna go in with his hypercharge, completely wrecked that tick, and that's gonna be game number 1 for Humble as Sniggets take the L here.
We love to talk about draft here and on every single show of Brawl Stars, really. It's just so important, and this one definitely won by Humble. It's going to be a very tough one for the side of FA Sniggets to take that one. Humble just really did so well with their comp here. They have some aggression, they have 2 times heal for the Daryl as well with the Barry and the Gene. They have some long range, and yeah, they really just have area control is basically what I'm trying to say here. We have Tick on the other side, but he just doesn't offer heals as well. So whenever Cyanide decides to go in aggressively, he can't really get healed. Now though, Yannick going in aggressively once again with a nice gadget. He decided to not go with the jump. He snipes one away. It's a 2v1 now. Yannick, can he still win this one? Does take Boss with him. And we have a 1v1. Semantic versus Yannick. Germany versus Switzerland.
Oh, wow. Okay. It seems like Germany has a magic hand. Can Germany get the pull here, or is Switzerland going to be indomitable here? Yannick, you have to notice, does not have a jump here because that's how he took down Lukey. So it's not the best matchup here. Oh, missed pull coming in for Semantic. Can he get the better of Yannick? No, Yannick gets the better of him instead.
Yannick manages to take that one off the hands of the World Finals winner 2024. That is so beautiful to see. And I'm just exaggerating here a tiny bit also because they are definitely the underdogs here. Snipes one away again. Luki falls to the hands of Yannick. He definitely is popping off today.
Yeah, Yannick with a hypercharge
Touching
here.
the pull as well.
Ooh, he does a pull. He gets a lot of damage onto Boss. Boss is so low. Boss gets taken out, and Yannick has done an amazing job of shutting down Humble completely. And now we just might see Sniggets getting the first win here against Humble. They take the set. I mean, they take the game.
My days. That was beautiful. We see Yannick here in the camera. He's still fully concentrated. Slight smile though, which is very well deserved. I never expected him to pick up this gadget as well. He shoots through the walls, gets 2 phenomenal kills out of that, instead of jumping away, which would have definitely been my choice here against the Daryl, but he doesn't really seem to be too afraid of Boss. He counts on his 2 teammates, especially Cyanide here on the Pearl, to defend him from the Daryl. Luki going in now, healing up his 2 teammates, and Semantic sneaks around aggressively.
Semantic taking a face full of that tick head there. And then is to survive. Doesn't really take much damage here, but Scattered already has another super and a hypercharge to his name. So that's going to definitely play into everything right here. Boss's best bet here is to wait for the tick head to come in and roll into that here. They decide not to go for it. Lots of heals coming in from Luki, and he keeps his teammates relatively healthy as Yannick sauces that clump in, but not really getting much value out of it. I think it's all but over here for the side of Sniggets, Sunny.
That pull was well placed by Semantic. Cyanide unfortunately not able to get his super out in time. That would have maybe changed that whole interaction, but he got knocked back by Semantic, wasn't able to press his super in time. And with that, Humble takes this third round, and this is set point now. Another pull. Yannick gets it this time without this master hitter from Sniggets. I don't know if Cyanide and Scatter can still do this. They do have a hypercharge and tick available. Places his head before he gets rolled on by the Daryl. That was such an unfortunate timing here, Panda. Humble takes it. 1-0.
Wow. Oh my god, Boss is just not taking any prisoners right now. He looks so serious. He's giving us a death stare. That was crazy. But insane blitz coming in from Humble. They played so well in that last 2 sets. And I have to say, they identified that Yannick was the main member popping off for this Snigget side. And they just kept on hammering him in the next 2 rounds. They got the pull onto him. They shut him down completely. And after that, there was no response. There was no activity from the side of FA Sniggets.
I'm gonna go all out here and say that if FA Sniggets has the first pick here, Humble will to 99% ban out the Angelo. On a map like Out in the Open, he would wreak havoc even more, and we just saw how strong Yannick can be on this brawler. Other long-range options, still a great option here on this map, but Angelo is just by far the best one because of that water on the left-hand side. I have to say, Humble's comp, I liked it so well, yet still in the second round, they couldn't really make it work simply because Yannick had some great taps. The Pearl was ready whenever the Daryl decided to go in. He confirmed the kill, even when the Daryl was able to get the takedown onto the Angelo. Pearl was ready to get the takedown still. The take head came in there as well once, got the takedown onto Boss. So yeah, all in all, that team just needed a little time to warm up, and they do really look like they can take a set of Humble, which they did already 2 weeks ago.
It's certainly possible. I mean, I'm still like zapped with how well they did, but then the clapback from Humble was unrelenting. So I'm interested to see how this set goes. Some of the brawlers that we like to see here, Meeple, we saw it being used very effectively with the mentions of Meeple, shutting down aggressive options. You can just box down brawlers like Daryl or whatever, Fang or something. You have the Brock to break open the walls as well. Meeple also helps with the wall on either side just because you have your super, so you can fire through those walls as well. Pearl we saw being brought out as well, which has quite a high win rate to boot. But we have our bans here, Sunny, and they're going to be Kit, Barry, Squeak, Kit, Angelo, and Jean. So double Kit ban, which opens up one more brawler, and Hank is available.
I'm just saying I did win my bet, Panda. We should have actually said for a coffee or something. Angela is banned out by Humble because FA Sniggets has the first pick here.
That would have been funny. That would have been such a targeted ban.
They did actually ban him out. What do you mean?
Oh.
Panda still waking up here. They had to leave the Brock open for that, so of course that is going to be what FA Sniggets picks up here. Usually the number one brawler that you want to bet out here because he can open up those walls, and with that advantage getting into mid a bit quicker, it's just so much easier to play this map. Hank was left open as well, so of course he's going to get picked up. His hypercharge is just so strong, even on knockout, an absolute beast. So yeah, I'm already afraid again here for FA Sniggets without their Angelo. And not banning out to Hank here, I think Humble already has the better comfort.
Yeah, Byron with Hank is just too much, especially with an open map like this. It's scary, but with Meeple still being there, I would hazard a guess that Meeple with its mansions of Meeple can shut down a Hank with a hypercharge. So wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a Meeple coming out just to address the Hank situation. But they already have a Brock, which is kind of doing half of Meeple's job of ensuring that you can still play behind those walls. Like you can break those walls and get in there. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. I like the Lou as well. Lou can also shut down Hank once you get your hypercharge. So not a bad shout to pick it up here, Sunny.
To address the Hank, honestly, I do like your Meeple idea. What I would have picked here probably is the Buster. His hypercharge ult shuts out that Hank completely. He can just take his two teammates in his super as well. Ola, not the pick I would have went for, honestly. She also has a hypercharge. She does way more damage now even. So at least they can shred down the Hank together with the Lu. But if he ever reaches the hypercharge, they can't kill him in time. It's just not going to happen. Last pick here for the side of Humble. They're going to go with Piper to also address the Brock on the other side. Definitely the better long-range brawler here. And Luki also an absolute menace on this brawler. So all in all, I'd say Sniggets has a chance here. Also because of what they showed us in the first map. They can mechanically outskill even a team like Humble sometimes. But they don't have to come to do that.
Yeah, they need those pop-off situations for that to happen. And I feel like their comp really doesn't lend itself to that specific idea. So let's see how this one does play out. I would have preferred, obviously, instead of the Lola, something like the Buster, like you mentioned, or the Meeple. But we are going to go into this game here, the second set. Humble took the first one. Chat, if you aren't aware, big taps coming in. Already, we see a lot of heals from Luki onto Semantic. Just the fact that you have unlimited gadgets allows a lot more heals to be brought out to the table here. Good charges, good taps from both teams, keeping everybody kind of low. But Semantic is being very aggressive and has moved all the way to spawn and has shut down the entirety of Sniggets, moving them backwards, Sunny.
This time around, it's not going to be Boss on the tank. It's Semantic instead. Getting in aggressively on Yannick once again. He's not even on the block. He's Lola this time around. Does survive. All of FA Sniggets are healing up right now, and now it's their turn to go in aggressively. Luki's one shot, but no follow-up here from the two teammates from Scattered to actually take him down.
Ooh, big hypercharge on the left-hand side. Scattered goes and finds the kill on Semantic. There isn't an addressing on the other side as Boss gets taken down, and Luki is the last one alive on his team. But unfortunate for them, that is not going to work out for them as Sniggets take round number 1. Let's see how they play with this second round here, Sunny.
Absolutely beautiful what we're seeing here from Sniggets. Scattered this time around, my MVP. It gets taken out here, unfortunately. Grazed pinch by Boss and Semantic. Scattered in the previous round, even though he's the last one to address the tankiness of Hank, did get the takedown onto Semantic early, which basically gave the win to Sniggets in the end. That round goes to Humble. Now it all comes down to round 3. Who will take this first game? And I see a very dangerous Hank hypercharge, Panda.
It's looking scary as we have the milk tank who has the purple button. Let's see how that one plays out. Ooh, Hypercharge already going in. Cyanide uses his gadget to obviate that, and Yannick gets taken out. There's another shot from the super. Scattered is very low, and that's going to allow Semantic to move up here. He's going to get lots of heals by Lukey, and just like that, Humble have complete control of the map here once more. With Cyanide being so very low, big Hypercharge being used here. Scattered is going to try to take down Semantic. It's not going to be enough as Semantic goes and uses his Hypercharge to take him down, and that's going to be game. That's going to be set. That's going to be game. Yeah, it's not match, right?
It's set.
It's
game. It's
okay.
not set yet. Yes.
Okay.
It's just always so confusing. But yeah, we still have a second round to play, and I do think Snickets can still turn things around here. They had a great start into the set, maybe got a bit too overconfident after that, a bit overextended, and Yannick fell quite early. Yannick even had a Hypercharge ready in that last round, couldn't even use it because of the great pinches coming in from Boss and Semantic especially. Semantic is always putting so much pressure onto the side of Snickets. Again, they're pushed back all the way into spawn. And Yannick just also doesn't have to range. Lola, they've definitely not been my pick. I would have loved to see a Buster here, maybe a Meeple. Yannick falls again, and Cyanide left alone here as both his teammates fall.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the Buster not being picked up because maybe they aren't keyed into what the new Hyperchargers do, but if you don't have the Buster, you should at least go for the Meeple. I feel like Lola is so outclassed here in this composition. Big task coming in from Lukion and Cyanide. Cyanide is very low. He's being pushed back all the way to spawn, and as soon as they give up an inch, Humble takes a mile from them, Sunny.
Semantic again putting a lot of pressure onto them. Yannick can't really get his ult, doesn't have the range to go up against the Byron or the Piper, and Semantic just does too much damage. Another ult coming in from Lukey. Semantic shuts them down. Cyanide, the last man standing yet again, and Humble wins it 2-0 today. Little reminder here, last time those two teams faced, Snickets were at least able to take off a set of the hands of the current world champions. This time around, Humble just showed how strong they truly are.
Indeed, congratulations to these gents from Humble, Boss, Semantic, and Lukey coming out, getting the dub in 2 straight sets. Also, Semantic recently got his creator code. He has become a super creator, so make sure you use code Semantic in the Brawl Stars shop, or maybe code Sun or code Pan as well, because that would be awesome. But once again, congratulations to Semantic. The grind has paid off, and congratulations to Humble for this one. Commiserations to the side of Sniggets, but you know, that's how the cookie crumbles, Sunny.
Sometimes it just goes so fast. There was a slight chance for Sniggets to take at least a set today. They did take a game, but that was the only opportunity Humble really gave them today. Humble looks very strong, as strong as ever, yet still, they're only 3-1 so far. Now 4-1 in their group, because they did lose to SK Gaming. So that's certainly a match I'm still looking forward to next week.
And we're going to take a short break of about 2.5 minutes, and we'll come back for IDI versus SK Gaming. We'll see you guys after the break. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to GKR EMEA 2025 Brawl Stars Circuit. I am CodePan, joined by Code Sun. Make sure you use our codes in the shop. We have finished 2 great matches. The first one was Dark Eagles versus FA Schnitzel, which FA Schnitzel took the dub, and then we had FA Stiggins versus Humble, where the very, very underdog team called Humble, I don't know if you've heard of them, took the dub there. We did have Reverso versus Experian, but that was a free win, which Reverso took the dub there because Experian were a no-show. But now, Sunny, it is time for IDI versus SK Gaming.
We did have a very close match in the first round today. The second one not so close. This third one, I don't know if this is going to be close. Let's be honest here, IDI definitely the underdogs here, but Schnitzel also was the underdog, and they did surprise us today, so definitely there is a chance for underdogs to strive today. SK Gaming, I think they don't need any introduction here. We have Joker, Ope, and Yoshi, very strong members in the EMEA competitive scene overall. Did also win the monthly final, so the first one at least. So definitely a strong team here. The second one, it didn't go all too well for them.
Yeah, I believe that they took the L against Electros in the quarterfinals, I believe. But Electros went all the way to the grand finals and ended up losing to Eclipse. So I would say, losing to a grand finalist is better than just losing. I don't know. It's maybe a little bit of copium on my side, but I feel like that's a way that you can manage your expectations sometimes.
Yeah, on the other side we have Jiro, Mykos, and Phobic, and Mikus. How do you say it?
I say Mikus because Miku
Mikus.
beep. Hatsune Miku.
That makes so much sense.
Hatsune Miku's.
I see.
He's a big Hatsune Miku fan.
He's Ukrainian, so I do think that probably goes along with how he would say his own name, so we can go with Mikus. So yeah, we have 3 players that didn't have the best of starts into this season. They did, however, take a single win, so they're sitting on 1-3 overall so far after 4 match days. 3 wins, 1 loss. And against SK Gaming, they didn't have the best of luck. On day 2 of the GKR League, they already faced off against each other. It was a 2-0 overall. So yeah, let's see if they can do better today. They really can only win today. Even if they take a single set, they would have already took something from SK Gaming that probably not that many people would have expected. Yeah,
for sure. And honestly, though, SK Gaming right now, I mean, despite the fact that their monthly finals wasn't what they wanted, I think that they are in really good form. I think that I've seen them being very deliberate with their picks and the way they've played their compositions. I mean, obviously, you need to iron out the draft, and I think that's a major complaint about the esports scene right now, is that there isn't a consensus as to what is the best de facto and what is not the best, considering that everything is rock, paper, scissors. But that being said, I think that one of the cleaner teams in BSE right now is SK Gaming. So wouldn't be surprised to see a masterclass in how to play these 3 maps today from SK Gaming.
We're gonna see the same maps once again, maybe with new drafts, maybe some more new hypercharges coming out. Honestly, the 2 that I hyped up the most, Sam and Chester, didn't show up so far at all today. So maybe I just don't have a clue, or that just didn't really fit the comp. We saw Buster, we saw Lola. Lola didn't really work out, in my opinion. There I would have definitely seen the Buster again. Even the Sam would have probably fared better for them. So we'll see if those 2 teams are going to show us something even newer. Maybe we'll see some dog. Who knows?
I mean, I would like that. That would be cool to see the dog. But
I was talking about the dino, but okay.
I definitely picked up on what you were talking about, Sunny. I'm definitely not
definitely
confused.
Yeah. Just like when I called that Humble would ban out D'Angelo if FA Snickets has the first pick, and just didn't even realize my rate.
No, I realized what you said, but I forgot like 5 seconds later because my memory is like that of a goldfish. So I apologize.
I see. That's quite unfortunate. Do you still remember who's playing now? Maybe you want to.
Oh no, it's IDI versus SK Gaming. Yeah, I'm dabbing. I don't think people can see it, but I'm dabbing. Yes,
Thank
dabbing
God
in the
we
big
can't see it.
2025.
That is, let's head into our match here. We're starting on Bell's Rock. You can open up the map. Gray and Brock would be the two that you usually want to do that with. We saw some great Angelo come out here from the side of FA Sniggets before. We saw great Daryl action. We saw Barry, which Humble is certainly known for, so I do not expect the Barry to come out of any other team today. We saw Tick twice today already on this map. Certainly a strong thrower in the current meta. Rom has gotten a hypercharge and he's still not back yet, it seems.
Yeah, that is surprising, but I wouldn't be. I think that SK might pick up some of these hypercharges which have recently come out just to see it. Because I feel like third-party tournaments are the best opportunity to do stress testing with the meta, and considering the fact that they've made it to the playoffs, they don't even need to win today or tomorrow. The goal of phase 2 is already done for them, so now they can make some of those riskier plays, go for some riskier compositions just to stress test how the meta actually is. So I think this is a great opportunity for meta discovery for the side of SK Gaming.
SK has to win this one, so the pressure's definitely on. They are expected to take this one 2-0. IDI, as I mentioned before, they can only win today, even if it's set off the hands of SK Gaming. It would look phenomenal. And they go along with what we've seen so far today. Jean as one of the best brawlers in this map currently, it seems. I'm just checking. IDI has to win 3 times still to take over Humble. So because Humble won their previous match, they're already out of the playoffs, unfortunately. But for them, just like for FA Schnitzel before, they can still win for some honor and glory.
Indeed. And we have Angelo RT being picked up here. We saw a Buster available. Wouldn't be surprised to see that. Grom is available as well. Since Tick is not there, Barry or Grom could be opportunities to go for here. Jean was the first pick by IDI, so let's see what they decide to respond with. They go for Bell. I think that Bell is good because of the opposition that they're facing is RT and Angelo, which means that you are going to be lacking in range if you don't go for a sniper yourself. So this Bell pick makes a lot of sense to me here, Sunny.
You like the Bell, as you mentioned, also great against the RT to bounce between his legs and himself. Angelo is now on the side of SK Gaming, and that already makes me scared a bit for IDI, but so far, so good with their comp. I also don't mind the squeak here. The only issue would be if SK Gaming now decides to go with something aggressive. Yeah, it doesn't really have anything to go up against him.
Ooh.
Decide to go with the thrower instead, which also, they don't really have anything to account for a thrower. They can't open up the map. They can only really pull him with the Gene, but Grom could also just play with the gadget that lets him place a little turret on the field to go up against that Gene. So probably the best option that SK Gaming had really here. I'm excited to head into this first game now, as we want to see IDI shine today, the underdog. But SK here with a very good.
Yeah, already we see SK like in a very dominant position in terms of map control, as they've pushed back the side of IDI almost all the way to spawn. I do like how Yoshi is playing this Grom here. I want to see how the hypercharge plays into the last dying seconds. I feel like the hypercharge is probably going to be secured by the end of the second round, so might not see it being played early on, but let's see how it goes for them, Sunny.
Getting pushed back so far, pretty much into their spawn. Still standing in their 3 lanes though. Yoshi putting so much pressure onto them because again, they don't have anything to address for the Grom, but now he's actually getting pulled. I literally mentioned the only way they can address this Grom is going to be the team pull, and for some reason, Yoshi was so not ready for that.
Indeed, and a kill on an OP is going to be huge now. Joker's the last one live. Can he clutch up like he usually does? It's not going to be the case here, as they are cleaned up by IDI. So IDI take the first round here, which is unprecedented because they are facing SK Gaming, Sunny.
Let's see if that mistake can happen twice here. Call it a mistake, because that's certainly not what should have happened here. Victus now with hypercharge ult ready. Let's see if he can do same thing again here and snack one of the 3 away. A 3v2 would be an option or an opportunity for IDI to take the
Gadget being used, but it hits absolutely nobody. So Mabo, a big miss over there. But Migos has his super, so can go for some kind of play here. Hypercharge as well at the boot. Gyro on this right hand side being pushed back by Yoshi, but they have hypercharges here, so they're just going to be playing it slightly slowly and waiting for the end game. And I think right now is where they should make their stand known. Ope has his super, could opt to use it at the later stage in the game. There are some marks on Amiku's, so they have to be careful about that as we go into the last engage, Sunny.
Nice taps from Mabo. Joker's quite low. He does fall in the end to the Yoshi ult. Weakest to last man standing, can't really do much. Falls in the end as well, and SK Gaming takes this second round with a double hypercharge available for the side of IDI. They could still take this one.
Indeed.
That single ground bomb ruined everything for them in that round 2.
And the pulls from Miku's have been quite good for the side of IDI, but now he has his hypercharge as well. Gyro is not close to his hypercharge just yet. I'm surprised that he hasn't been using his gadget more often. You would assume with the amount of range that the gadget brings, you would have it used more often, perennially, in fact. And it is interesting to see that it hasn't been going that way. Gyro still hasn't got his super hit, Sonny.
I do think IDI is playing that very well. They're trying to get Gyro's ult as well and not letting SK feed, really. Joker has a hypercharge ready, but no ult. Hypercharge coming out of Mabo. Very well played here. Great tag onto Joker. That could be the round for them, but Mikus misses his hypercharge ult. That would have been the possibility. Now though, Ground Bomb coming out. Gyro's low. Mabo, the last man standing. Can't really do much. SK Gaming takes this one because of a single missed pull from the Gene. That could have really been the key for IDI to take this game. It still isn't set, so they still have a chance here to make that comfort. I think Yoshi is a bit gun shy.
Yeah, I think so too. He's been playing a lot of Moko. I've been playing Moko and I've been seeing him online quite often, so fun game. But anyway, we're gonna go back into the second game here. First one was taken by SK Gaming, and it was mostly because of how good Yoshi is with his super. Let's see how it pans out in the second in the second game here, Sunny.
Malbo against Joker once again. The 2 long-range snipers against each other, and honestly, Malbo's doing so well so far. Joker is known to be one of the best long-range players we have in the game, yet Malbo does pretty well. Manages to push back Joker every now and then. That bounce shot was a bit unfortunate, but otherwise so far doing really well. They're also not getting pushed back as much anymore.
One of my favorite tropes as a caster is when you sing praises for a specific person and then they just completely bomb in that one instance when you're talking about how good they are. It's always funny to me. Anyway, going back in the dying stages of this one, Joker tries to get his gadget here. He doesn't manage to make the mark, finds 1 kill. There's going to be up to Gyro versus Ope. Ope does manage to get the kill, and that's going to be round 1 to the side of SK Gaming. As we go into the second round, I think IDI have the win conditions. They just have to execute at the final stages, which they haven't been able to do. I feel like in moments where it gets very tense and very cagey, that's when SK really shines, because they aren't nervous. They have nervous steel. They are very calm, cool, and collected. So IDI need to try to finish this off before they go into the final stages of the round here, Sonny. But with Miku's having his pull, it's certainly going to be great resource for IDI to push back SK Gaming.
With an ult, with the hypercharge, as you mentioned, they have technically the key to winning this round if they just make it until the smoke comes in. If they make it to overtime here, have them all in one place, 3 ults, and they should take this one. Then round 3 is going to be another story though. They're really trying hard to not beat Yoshi here. Ope gets a couple of shots, does have his legs now. Could be dangerous for the end here. Hero decides to use his ult early. Legs come out of Ope. He reacted perfectly to that. It falls regardless. Hypercharge pop by Jira now, and they do take this round. Even have the Bell hypercharge to spare for this round 3.
Amazingly played by IDEA, and I'm surprised they have the SK on the ropes here, which is kind of crazy. But Joker trying to be very aggressive. He's actually swapping Ope for Joker, where Joker takes the mid and Ope takes the left lane. So I think that Ope just relented and that he just doesn't want that Mabo smoke, and Mabo already pops his hypercharge, gets the mark off on an Ope. I think that that's probably a really good decision. I mean, you would ideally like to commit on the damage for the hypercharge, but the hypercharge for Bell is mostly to ensure that the mark hits its target, Sunny.
Ope, probably the tankiest of the 3, so definitely did well to mark him. A lot of pressure once again coming out of SK Gaming. IDI push back into spawn. Overtime is hitting. Now the smoke comes in. No Gene ult. The only ult they have is the squeak of the rank. Mabo are tagged up by OP. He does manage to get out a heck gadget, and Mabo is one shot. Mikus is now as well, thanks to a Grom up from Yoshi. Can't really do much there against that Grom. Yoshi falls at 3v2, but both of them are low. Both fall because Mabo were the last man standing, and they can't turn things around here. SK Gaming runs away with this first set in a phenomenal display of not only being good at the draft, but also playing it really well.
I have to say, very well played by SK. You had some good pulls coming in from the side of EDI, but at the end of the day, this SK Gaming, they know what they need to do. They play so concertedly as a team. It was nice to see Grom coming out. We got to see a little bit of the hypercharge action. It doesn't seem like it's overwhelming though, Sunny. I felt like it would be more centralizing. I think that you can still get away with not using Grom in a lot of maps, but considering that there are a lot of broken brawlers, you might not even see Grom being picked up as much, at least just from that one display that we saw, Sunny.
Yeah, I mean, I heard before that Grom now should be the best thrower in the game, but I just still believe that Tick has its advantages. The Barry as well. Barry can heal. Tick has this gadget that just makes him so infinitely better against any tanks. So as soon as the tank's on the field, I wouldn't go with the Grom still. As soon as there's a Gene, I would prefer the Grom probably with the gadget. So definitely the better option here in this case. SK did well in their draft. Now heading into out in the open again, probably Angelo, Eve, Brock. Those are the usual 3 that are banned out. We just saw how strong Hank can be on this map as well, so probably banned out as well. And there we are. The only brawler that is open from the ones I mentioned is the Brock. Could still be picked up here. Meeple banned out here as well. One of a very strong brawler on this map. Yeah, I assume Brock is coming in now. Piper would still be good. Gene is open, would be an option. Any single knockout. Let's see.
I mean, out in the open with Meeple being banned, Gene's a really good brawler here because of the walls, and I mean, just generally, it's a great brawler all around. They don't have a wall break yet. With Meeple also out of the situation, I think that you need to get a wall break or go for something that can go over water. But with Angelo being banned, that also removes that from the situation. So Brock makes so much more sense as a pick here for IDEA, just to break open the walls to get back into the game, get back in the middle of the map. And yeah, that's exactly what they go for. And you do have other options that they could go for. Pearl is one which we've seen with varying degrees of success, especially with Meeple not being in an option. It just makes Pearl that much more of a threat here. Other brawlers that you could possibly go for are like Byron, maybe Carl as well. RT as well could be coming out, and yeah, RT is there.
Good prediction here from Panda. RT coming in. Brock, of course. The 2 brawlers that I mentioned are probably the best ones. Picked up straight away. So I do seem to have learned something in the last month. I'm really glad to see that. Now we have something on IDI side already that can open up the walls. Let's see if SK Gaming decides to also break those, or if they still pick up something to just walk in midst. The Eve would still be a possibility here. Max, certainly one of the best synergies you can have with the Gene. Speeding the Gene up just makes hitting his pulled so much easier. else picking out for SK Gaming. Could also still be a thrower that comes in here. Juju could be an option here as well as the technic ROM that we talked about before. Another new hypercharge. We haven't seen her so far today, and also not at all in the last week.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like I said, stress testing the meta is very important. I don't know if Meg's hypercharge is all that great or not, but I think Max with Meg with a whack is really good, but Max with a Gene as well synergize as well. So I think that synergy wise, I like the composition from SK Gaming all around. Buster is going to be coming out. Buster is so good for shutting down whatever that Meg, Max, and Gene can bring to the table. I really like this pick from IDI. I think that it has a lot of merit, Sunny.
Buster, we talked about it before. I would have loved to see it come out of FS Snickets as well. I guess I got my wish granted now from IDI. And they do still have a leg to stand on here. They could still prolong into set 3 and take this match day off the hands of SK Gaming, but SK are the one team that is undefeated so far in the GKR, so not an easy task.
Oh, Yoshi with the wiggles, but has been taking a lot of shots, but he still managed to survive here at the end. Finally gets taken out by Gyro. And a little bit of rotation happening here as Joker's the last one alive on his team, but it is not going to be possible for them to really come back here as IDI take the first round.
A very quick one. Now heading into round 2 already with hypercharge. Brock nicely connected here. Joker is sitting on 100 HP. Mick is following up with the gadget. Beautiful display. Absolute domination here from the side of IDI, and they take this game. And I was talking about it at the start of this match between those two, how if IDI just manages to even take a game off the side of SK, that would already be such a great achievement. So that was one of the quickest knockout matches I ever casted, Panda, and they won.
I blinked and then SK lost. What? That is crazy. Great job from IDI to execute on that level. We're going to go into game number 2. Let's see how SK course corrects. And we know this team likes to change things up and the way they try to approach these things. So let's see if it actually works out for them. As here we see a little bit more of a controlled start from SK Gaming. They haven't lost any members just yet. They're playing it slightly closer to the vest here as Ope and Yoshi doubling up on the right hand side, and Joker just picking up the slack on the left hand side, gets the speed off to his teammates, and now Yoshi can make the march on this right hand side, but opts not to do it. I like this position from SK Gaming. The IDI certainly have their work cut out for them because they have to fight to get back in the mid here, Sunny.
Mick is here for me, the MVP on his side. Connecting some great shots. Now, not connecting a gadget, just as I point him out once again. Baba now coming in with a Buster, all getting Mikus in the midst of things. Very dangerous positioning here. Both of them fall quite low. They have to come into mid though. The smoke is coming in. All 3 members of SK Gaming still look quite healthy, getting the takedown, the triple, and taking this round. Very well played.
Miku popping the gadget right at the start. Gene already has a pull, so they have to be careful about it. So Joker's just going to try to get his super, and that is going to ensure that the speed's going to be on Ope, but Mabo trying to go in very aggressively. Goes in a bit too much. Overcommits get taken out. Our hypercharge is coming out all around galore for the side of SK Gaming as they close this one and respond in kind against this IDI side.
Joker doesn't look too happy about it still. They only equalized the score that could have already been their match to victory. They are a match point now though, so if they win this next best of 3 within this knockout map, then they take the win over this match and are still the unbeaten kings of the GKR.
Indeed. We're going to go into the third round here.
Not a good start.
Sorry, third game here of the first round, and it's already great for the side of SK Gaming as IDI are already back in their spawns here, so not the best as speed is there for Joker. Ope does have a super, but I think that they want to keep all their utility close to themselves as Yoshi is also trying to get his super, so they're just gonna try to farm Miku's as much as possible. Miku's knows it's over and he is gonna go down, so that was a good first round for the side of SK Gaming. They have their utilities under their belt. It looks like Yoshi's going to be close to his own super as the speed from Joker allows SK to get back into the thick of things very fast, Sunny.
SK complete mid control here. They do have a Jhin ult ready. Mabo a bit preemptively. His ult here, he could have protected himself and his teammate from that Jhin ult still later on. Hero has to use his legs here. Can't really get it back into his other form now as, yeah, everybody's too far away for him to do anything really. That was an unfortunate ult from the RT.
Yeah, it's a ticking time bomb. That RT is basically a dead man walking. Now, let's see if they can find some value before he actually dies. Hypercharge is going in galore as there is a kill from Yoshi onto Miku's, and now Gyro and Mabo, last one alive, is going to be Gyro, but he's certainly going to be going down. And now I want to see if SK are going to actually dispatch him or if it's going to be the smoke, and it is the smoke instead.
That was evil. They were just waiting for the smoke to take him out here.
Nicely done on the side of SK Gaming. I think that is set for them. I think
so.
Wait, are we done?
Yes.
Oh, that was
I think we just didn't get the
anticlimactic.
graphic in time, but SK Gaming is the one to run away with this match. Once again, beating their opponents, making it a 5-0. They're the only team that didn't lost a single match in the GKR so far. Congratulations to Joker, Yoshi, and OP.
That was very fast. I gotta say, did not expect it to go as fast as it did. But, you know, this team really knows how to execute at the highest levels. They did take an L in one of the games, but I don't think really that's much to talk about, really. They just, I don't know. It's SK Gaming. What more can you say about it? It's just such a strong squad to see.
I do think they have what it takes to win it all, but we're not going to figure that out until the playoffs. So definitely stay tuned for that as well. April 8th and 9th. Tune in there if you're interested in who's going to be the winner, the champion of the first ever GKR League in Brawl Stars. For now, we're heading into our match number... Do we call it 4? Because we haven't seen the first one. 4 and 5 of the day. Day 5. Stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll take a short break of about 2.5 minutes. So we'll see you guys then. Bye-bye.
I never thought that this would be our end, but it's nothing new. And my lover's honesty, I can push it back down if I have to. If you want me to, 'cause we can and we can the stars that fall all for you. So tell me now, what's left to lose if we run?
3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the GKR League EMEA Brawl Stars Circuit. It is match day number 5, and we are on Knockout. I am your host, Panicast, joined by the amazing Sunny Enough. And make sure to use code PAN and SUN in the Brawl Stars shop or any Supercell game if you are looking to make any purchases. I hope you guys have enjoyed our previous matches so far. And what do we have next on the docket, Sunny?
I really appreciate the introduction as always. We're heading into our match number 4 of the day. We had one upset so far today, so let's see if this next one promises to be one as well. It's Eclipsar versus LLC, and one of the two you should know. If you watched the EMEA monthly finals, you should have seen Eclipsar win it all in a huge upset. They just brushed through their matches of the day, all 3 of them. They won in the end, knocked out some amazing teams that honestly were the favorites, the clear ones in those matchups, but Eclipsar still managed to go all the way to the finals and take that one as well against Electros. So yeah, here we are now up against LLC, which are also a team that they have faced before, not only in the monthly qualifiers but also here in the GKR League. On day 2 they faced already, and it was a 2-0 for Eclipsar. Hence the underdogs in this one, clearly LLC.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, they might be underdogs, but they beat, I think they've beaten like a lot of big teams as well. I believe they beat SK Gaming, or was that Experian in the qualifiers? But regardless, I believe Alan is very highly regarded. We saw how good Ramika and Zero have been in the previous match days, but they're going up against Eclipsar, who has defeated every single top team in EMEA in the past month, which is kind of crazy and unexpected, I would say. But it's not a fluke. It's not a fluke at all. They've been performing at a very high level. So I am excited to see this uprise of Eclipsar Esport.
It's truly an uprising team, a new team of new talents, and they have made it. They have done the impossible, really, and made it into a monthly final and also ended up winning that one. So definitely a team to look out for also in the GKR League. They are on the way into the playoffs. If they keep winning their matches, they are on a 3-1 standing so far. They can make it into the playoffs, and we're going to see them face off against teams like SK Gaming and Humble once again, which I certainly look forward to.
And I mean, the maps are going to be the same. If you're uninitiated, if you've just joined in, the maps are going to be Bells Rock, Out in the Open, Gold Arm Gulch. The way we do it in this tournament is, at least in this in this phase 2, is that each of the match days have its own theme in terms of the game mode. So one of the days we had Gem Grab, another day we had Highest, some days we have Bounty, some days we have Knockout. So today is the Knockout day. As a result, it's Bells Rock, Out in the Open, and Gold Arm Gulch. We're just waiting for the teams to get ready and to show up today.
Oh, why would you mention that? Well, we did have a free win today. That's whoever missed that, that's why. Whoever just tuned in for now, we did have a huge upset today already. Schnitzel won against Dark Eagles. The casters were kind of split in that one. Schnitzel so far didn't win a single of their match day, so definitely congratulations to them. Today is their day. Knockout is their mode. I'm really liking to see that. So let's also see if maybe LLC can cause an upset here. ACP is the clear favorite here. We're looking at the maps now, the same ones as we already saw in the 3 matches we've already seen before. By the way, I just checked once again. Eclipsar actually knocked out Totem and then also Humble in a 3-0 in the semifinals to make it into the finals. Also won that one 3-0 against Electros, who knocked out Brawl Esports and SK Gaming. So yeah, all those big names vanished pretty quickly in a huge upset. And so yeah, technically just 1 week later, Eclipsar should be on the top again. But we had some changes. We have 6 new hyperchargers in game. The balance changes are about to come, so next month everything could be changed once again.
Yeah, for sure. But I do have to mention specifically that one matchup between Eclipsar and Humble. I believe Eclipsar faced off against Humble in the first monthly finals too. And there was this one moment of contention and where Semantic actually posted on social media that he on Flaring Phoenix, he was at the back emoting in the grass, and that's he kind of made it like he was trying to be nonchalant, but he kind of made it seem like Eclipsar weren't really worth taking seriously. So it was interesting to see how Eclipsar did end up beating them 3-0 in the subsequent monthly final, which was in direct response to that interaction which Marco had with Semantic. So I like to see those sort of comeback situations happening. I don't think it's a toxic thing. I just think that, you know, banter is an important part of esports. It lends itself to a little bit more engrossed and interesting storylines. So I felt like that was worth mentioning here, though, Sunny.
Certainly is. I mean, yeah, it's always nice to also compare them in other tournaments. Yet we are in the GKR League, and as I mentioned before, Eclipsar did already face off against LSC. It was a 2-0. So here, the unthinkable would actually be for Eclipsar to lose this one. Heading into our fourth match of the day now. We are on Bells Rock once again. And Ben, Nico once again, Hank, Kit, the usual suspects. Ollie is going to be the first to be picked up here by Eclipsar. And Brawler that we've seen before already in a match with in Dark Eagles versus Schnitzel. So yeah, certainly a good pick here. Can jump over the walls with the Hypnotize coming out whenever he hits a gadget. Also when he does manage to find the connection with his ult. So definitely a strong brawler. And we see a Barry again. A brawler that I said would probably only be ever picked up by Humble.
But yeah, the Barry pick. A lot of sustain. I think after its nerf, it has lost a little bit of the sheen. It doesn't look as shiny of a brawler anymore, but it certainly has its place in a map like this. So it's good to see it coming out here. But I think that prompts a possible great pick from Eclipsar Esport as a way to really deal with that Barry. Otherwise, it's certainly going to be hard with the Meeple and the Gene being banned as well. We have RT coming out for LSC Esport as a response, and now we go back to Eclipsar, Sunny.
RT, very, so far, really strong comp from the side of LSC, so also they know what the draft can look like. Eclipsar, I believe they did shine, especially with their throwers as well. Barley coming out now is a great pick, in my opinion, but one of the throwers that we haven't seen so far at all today. Usually it's the tick you want to pick up here, the Grom, the new hypercharges. Barley does have a hypercharge. It's probably not the strongest one in the game, but still a fairly decent one, doing a lot of damage, especially good pick on Heist, but I did not expect him to see him on Knockout.
Oh, okay. And we have Barley and Nani, right? So the last pick is there with LSC Esport. Barley is going to be very oppressive on this map here, along with the fact that the Ollie is going to be there to help out Barley staying away from these sticky situations where, for example, Kenji comes in. I don't really like this pick of Kenji from LSC Esport. I think that Kenji is a great brawler, but with the fact that you have Ollie here, I think the Kenji is going to be locked down, but honestly, it depends on whether LSC Esport can address the Ollie or not.
We have two good drafts so far, I believe. Both of the teams definitely have everything they need to win this first set. We do have a little bit of an underdog in LSC, but they're still a fairly strong team. We have seen Strive also in the BSC so far. Kenji coming in now. And they put up a lot of pressure against Eclipsar. They're the aggressors in this one. I did not expect LSC to be the one to get the pace started into this match. Kenji actually falls there. Or he will fall. Sorry, I'm watching a different stream than Panda is right now. Okay, it's fixed now. I'm watching the normal one again.
Anyway, Ramika goes down.
Oh, Kenji fall. Wow.
Yeah, I feel like that was like a big win condition for them, but with Subeem there, it just doesn't seem like it's going to be working out all that much because Kenji's going to be distracted with the super from Subeem. So I don't know if that was the best last pick for the side of LC Sport as Zero goes and he finds a kill on Marco, but he's certainly going to be down himself. Now Alan's the last one alive going up against the combo of Biso and Subeem. I think it's a very tall ask for him to win this one, and he certainly knows he doesn't want to feed the opposition and just takes the L by going into the smoke.
Interesting to talk about maybe also that Alna is not on this roster anymore. They switched him out with Kai to play with him at least in the BSC. Alna's still playing the GKR, so still has a bit of time here with his former teammates. They did have a great team chemistry. I think the only reason that they actually swapped him out is that they wanted a team that all three members were from the same region, so they could talk in their native language.
Yeah, I believe that was one of the reasons. I mean, yes, you want the team chemistry, but you also want the comms to be seamless. And I feel that maybe they felt that the comms were not as seamless as they wanted. But I feel like LC was in an uprise situation. They were getting better. They were getting there. So the fact that Alan was dropped was a bit of a surprise, not only for me, but I think for the esports community as a whole. So that was unfortunate, but at least he's here right now. Hypercharge gonna be popped by Marco. He goes in and Zero gets taken out. Ramika is gonna go up against Sabib. He uses his super, but he's gonna be certainly very low as he's the last one alive, but gets taken out, and that is gonna be the round and game number 1 going to the side of Eclipse Art Esport.
A little reminder here as well, Kenji actually was the last pick from the side of LLC, and he didn't really stand a chance. He gets shot down the minute he decides to go in aggressively. Kenji against Ollie just didn't stand a chance. So, yeah, all in all, I really don't think that the comp from LLC makes that much sense. They can win this one if they only make the Kenji work a bit better. The parry certainly does help. Let's see what they do now. The Zero basically has to stay with Rumika, is what I'm saying. And now they're split again, and Kenji looks very dead.
Oh my god. That overcommittal was almost it was suicidal, honestly. Well, Zero wasn't even there to help him out. He went cross lane. They should have gone in the same lane symmetry. I mean, it was just asymmetrical, and that kind of cost them. And I feel like now it's just ECP going to be taking this unless something monumental happens. Hero finds a kill onto Marco, but gets taken out by Subeem as a response. And now it's the same thing which happened in the last set, where last round, where it was just Subeem as the last man alive. Sorry, Subeem dispatching the last man alive on the side of LSC. So it's not really the best draft, and it's not the best execution either from LSC, Sunny.
You're now playing a bit more around Remika. That's exactly how they want to do this. Alain got hit by a Nani head, but honestly, it didn't really hurt him too much there, with Zero on his side, healing him up immediately as well. Hypercharge ready on the berry now. They do need to go in aggressively all together. He needs to support Remika, especially. Subeem has his ult ready. Remika decides to go in. Doesn't get hypnotized by the gadget from Subeem here. So that's a good thing. Kills coming out of Mark Victor as well. Barley just the perfect answer to the berry. Picks both of them and heal.
Indeed, Hypercharge is going to be popped by Zero. He tries to go in, gets a lot of healing on her. Ramika not really able to get value. Horrible tonic on the other side. He gets a kill onto the Barley, and now we see Ramika able to go on a tear, and we finally see the Kenji actually coming into action. So well played from the side of LSC to finally make the Kenji work, and I think that the name of the game for them is just to hold on till the end.
They do have the RT that would shine even more if they actually held on to the end. They can. We just saw that in round 2 of this game now. Remika's an ult ready now as well. Hypercharge of Barley could be dangerous though. If Marco decides to use it, they would immediately gain mid control again.
Indeed. Now Ramika's going up very aggressively, but he is certainly going to be hypnotized. He gets taken out. We see Zero going in with his hypercharge, gets taken out himself. Alan is the last one alive, but I think he's again in a very bad spot here because he's going up against Marco, and I don't really think he can go up against the thrower in this situation. And that is going to be all she wrote as Eclipse Art Esport take this round, take this game, and take the set.
1-0 up so far, just like we predicted as well. Eclipse should be the ones taking this one, but we saw some great moments coming out of LLC. They did win the second round. They did manage to get Remika in the front, and with the heals from Zero, he did manage to get those very important kills at the start. Kenji, another brawler we see all too often come out in the draft anymore, and we also saw now why against those tanks that are just so strong in the current meta, like the Hank and the Ollie specifically, just doesn't really stand a chance. Out in the open now, we did see some Hank here before. We saw Lola as an answer, also the Lu, that both didn't really work out. So maybe a different strategy here now, banning out the Hank right from the start, or picking up the move like Endo wished for, or maybe the Buster as an answer as well. We'll see. Out in the open, a very interesting map.
Yeah. Let's see how LC draft this time around, because the drafting the Kenji into the composition that Eclipsar brought, specifically the Ollie, it was, I don't even know. Like, okay, I can understand the Ollie being drafted into the Kenji, but not the other way around. It just doesn't make sense. The pick wasn't the best, and the gameplay also wasn't really up to the mark. Hopefully they course correct and identify what went wrong with the communication and the positioning. But I feel like from the draft, from the get-go, they were already playing with a losing hand there, Sunny.
Let's see what they decide to pick up now. I see that Hank slipped through the bans. So, yeah, I would be surprised if he wouldn't get picked up here now. Let's put it that way. Let's see if it's the first pick from Eclipsar here, or if they do have an answer against this Hank. Meeple is banned out here as well. Brock banned out too, as well as the Angelo. So, not really a lot of options to still go with the Watcher here or break open the map. And, yeah, leaving that Hank open, I think that's going to hurt LLC in the long run.
Yeah, for sure. I think the Hank is so good because now you have two options for the Hank. You have either the Byron or the Barry, and obviously for LLC you don't want to draft both of them because that's definitely not the best situation for you. They go for the Lu. I like this Lu pick. They should go for the Buster. I think that is going to shut them down quite effectively if they go for the Buster here and they pair it with a last pick Byron or something like that. But the Lu pick, it gives me promise. It certainly does, Sunny.
I do like the Lu as the answer to the Hank. We did see that before, however, and it did not work out for FS Nuggets in their matchup against Humble. So with their second pick is now, you wanted to see a Meeple. They had the Lola in the previous matchup, Bell now coming out. Also a great overall brawler, but they need something to shut this Hank out before he ever reaches a hybrid charge. Which is basically impossible, because against, thanks to the Hank's trait, the tank trait, he does gain his super and hyper charge just by getting that.
I think the Bell also makes sense because with the Lu, you're going to try to get the freezing done, but with the Bell, you can mark down the Hank, and this makes it that much more guaranteed that the Hank goes down. But obviously, we're talking about two brawlers against one. Let's see what Eclipsar brings to the table. They go for the Piper. Piper and a Bell, great. I think it favors Piper because of the number of bananas, or rather the homemade recipes that you can use, the curves, if you will. So I like this pick from Eclipsar. Let's see how they round this one out, Sunny.
Last pick now for Eclipsar, and then also for LC. Eclipsar could still go with a Roar here. They decide to do go with the Eve. I mentioned it at the start. You want something that can either go over the water or can break holes in the map. They have both now with the Piper and the Eve, so a very good comp overall. They'd also get the Hank for free, so I wouldn't really be surprised if they win this one. Squeak is going to be the last pick here for LSC. Is that enough DPS to deal with a Hank? I don't know. We're going to find out in this potentially last set. If Eclipsar manages to win this one, LSC could still turn things around. If they win this one, they can still win the match today. And they, with their 3-1 standing, are still very much in the race of the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. As we go into game number 1 of the second set, Eclipsar to the first one, and it was pretty dominating. I'm surprised as to why the Hank is all the way back in the spawn. I would expect the Hank to probably farm super instead, maybe. I don't know, but I think the obvious reason as to why he isn't doing that is because he doesn't want to feed Alan the hypercharge.
Ella is going in so aggressively. He does it so well. Marco didn't hit a single shot onto him. The beam is just hiding. I don't know why. With the Hank, you usually can go in aggressively because you can easily get your ult from just that. But as you said, probably they don't want to feed the Lu ult. Remika falls here. It's a 2v2 now. Bizo is quite low as well as Zero. They both have to pull back a little. They are pushing, however, with the sprouts coming out of Eve here. Alain still looking very healthy. His teammate, not so much.
His teammate goes down, and it's going to be Sabim taking out Alan as well. And that is going to be round number 1 for the side of Eclipse Esports. Very well played from them. Ramika with a preemptive gadget there. Should probably find a mark as well. I was saying how I didn't like the fact that the Hank wasn't farming the hypercharge, but if you don't need to be in an aggressive situation where you're might be feeding the other team, you shouldn't be in that situation. So they probably know what they're doing. They won monthly finals. Obviously, they know what they're doing, Suddy.
I do like Alain on that Lu has a super now taking over the mid control completely, still dodging the incoming shots from Marco. I think that, yeah, Marco doesn't really stand a chance against Alain's dodges right now. It's so funny to see, actually. Remika on the other side gets tapped up now as to fall back a little bit. Mid control, still with LLC. They're looking pretty good in bit 1. They should take this round.
Dude, Alan is so good. Finally have a hypercharge coming here from Biso here. Finds the kill onto Marco as Zero. Biso gets the kill onto Alan on the other side there. It's going to be a hypercharge being popped by Zero. Finds some value. He doesn't get the kill onto Sabim. Does find the kill onto Sabim in the end. Now it's going to be a 1v2. And Biso is going to be the last one alive on his team. Can he find the kill? He finds 1 kill. It's going to be 1 more required here. Oh, the eggs get taken out. He finds the kill.
That's disastrous.
Oh my god. Zero goes down. Oh, that's heartbreak.
That is a heartbreak indeed. That's just the curse of Squeak, really. Whenever you are in a 1v1 in the very last seconds of knockout, it's impossible for you to take it in the end because your shots take way too long to actually explode. So unfortunate here for the side of LLC. They can win this one though. They have to comp. Hank didn't really come to shine that much. Great follow-up here from Remika. He does find the takedown immediately. 3v2 situation. But yes, Fender, what happened to that also mighty Hank hypercharge?
It just got completely shut down. That's crazy. I thought that it would get a little bit more value. But like I said, this Lu is their way forward to actually winning this one. I feel like Lu just shuts down their composition very well. Ooh, Sabim almost got him, but Alan uses the gadget to stay alive, but gets taken out by Biso nonetheless. Now it's going to be Biso versus Zero. Now can Biso get this dub here is the question. He is going to go up against Zero. Zero still has managed to get him here in the situation, but they finally find the kill onto Biso. I don't think Biso is going to be sad about that. He tried his best. I think he's going to be close to his hypercharge, and that's really the play here for Eclipse Esports. Marco also needs to stay alive because what happened last time should not have happened.
Zero finally got his revenge now in the 1v1 before. He didn't manage to win against that Eve. No, he did. His teammate falls right out of the gates here. Without the bell, it's going to be very hard. Remika a bit overextended. And with 3v2 here, Flipstar should be able to get the match point here quite easily. We do have an ult on Zero. Alain tries to get his himself as well. And Flipstar is doing this well. They're just playing it really slow, as you should when you're 3-2 up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you have all the cards, so you don't need to throw it down if you don't really require that situation. Smoke should be billowing in, and as I say that, it does start coming in here. Now it's going to be a very cagey situation. Squeak in the dying seconds of this is not looking good. Alan's already given up. It is basically an enemy match point, more or less, for the side of Eclipse. They just need 1 more round, and they take this one, Sonny.
We're heading into the last round. If Eclipse takes this one for LSC, this match would already be over. That also means, we're going to talk about the group a bit later, but in their group, there's still everything open. If LLC loses this one, it's an interesting one, actually. Bizo, Hypercharge ready. No ult available, though. Remika has both. Let's see if he decides to go in with Hypercharge anytime soon here. Anna still trying to get his ult, and the Hank is just having his moments.
As
Just
well,
spinning.
he's. I like how Subine's just in the back, just doing his Hank stuff, just like, you know, doing nothing, spinning around his little attack. But right now, we see with the walls being opened up a little bit, they have to be careful here, as the smoke is coming in. And Zero uses his super, gets a little bit of value there. Subim is certainly going to be down. No, he's still alive here. Going for Alan, gets taken out. The stun is online as Subim gets taken out. Zero gets taken out. So does Marco. And that is going to be game for the side of LSC Esport.
LSC lives to see another day. They are able to turn things around here, as they just showed us. They need to win this set in order for them to still move on into map number 3. Can they do that? The Hank overextended a little bit. Finally gave Alain that super he fought for all match, really. He does so well at just never feeding that Lou. But in the end, he did get a super. The Hank got taken out. He followed. And with that, LSC did take the win. Now again, a lot more pressure coming out of the side of LSC than ECP.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh. Oh, wow, it actually connected Ramika managed to connect that gadget on a Biso. That was actually kind of crazy, I have to say. But now Biso's forced back. Oh, the entirety of ECP is forced back. It seems if you walk into the situation and the stream, you would think that ECP are the underdogs here, where in fact it's LSC. And Subim jumps in, but he's certainly going to be taken out, as he does, and it's going to be a 3v2 favoring LSC here, Sunny.
That was an interesting decision, to say the least here. 3v2 situation now. Zero and Remika both kind of low, but no follow-up here from Marco on that Piper. They both have super available on Piper and Eve, but they should probably keep it for the next round. They do jump out of harm's way here with the Eve. They're just deciding to not feed more, as Squeak already has his hypercharge ready. So there's the potential for LSC to prolong into map 3.
Indeed, wall break allows Marco to be in the mid more confidently, I would say, and it also ensures that they don't get completely spawn trapped. So I think it's a good decision to break the walls at that point. Good taps coming in from Marco, but Alan is still very sneaky boy. He's just like bobbing and weaving and just wiggling just about enough that it makes it hard for Marco to connect those shots. The right hand side, we see Biso going up against Ramika, and it's a little bit of a mano-a-mano, but so far no teams have really taken any fatalities so far, Sunny.
We have Zero with the hypercharge ready. Remika still only has his ult. Hypercharge also now finally ready for Marco on the Piper. Eve, it's coming out now. Good. Potentially get a lot of pressure here. ECP if they use those correctly. Deciding to go in with the Eve babies now. So much pressure coming out of them. Zero missed his hypercharge completely. No real value out of that. Subimi falls, but Zero's the last man standing on his side of things. The blue team falls, and ECP prolongs here for another round. They are on match point.
Ooh, it comes down to this. This one is for all the marbles for ECP. And if LSC win this, they force a set number 3. So I think that it's a very important round for both teams. One just wants to shut the other team down, and the other one wants to, you know, keep their hopes alive here in this one. As we go into
Most
this
important thing, that LSC just stays alive here for the long run. They need an ult on Alain. They have it, but Ramika falls on the right-hand side. 2v3 situation now. This is basically over for LSC. It's so hard to win a 2v3 situation here. Alain with an ult. However, maybe he can make something with it, but not an easy task here, Panda.
Oh no, with Biso's hypercharge and everybody being single target brawler, it's over. It's all she wrote. This is done. This is dusted. This is all for ECP as LLC take the L.
It could have been another very close match going all the way to the last set, but it wasn't meant to be. Eclipsar, in the end, wins this one. Almost as smoothly as their monthly final run. Not quite, I have to say. They look like they could hand over the win over this last set to their opponents. But now, Panda, I really want to talk a bit more about this group B. Yeah, B. We have Eclipsar now sitting on a 4-1. They are basically in the playoffs now. LLC is on a 3-2. Dark Eagles lost their match surprisingly today against FA Schnitzel. Otherwise, they would be on 3-2 as well. But next week, Dark Eagles is facing off against LLC Esports. So if they win that match, they are both sitting on a 3-2. And then it just comes down to the direct matchup, which if Dark Eagles wins 2-0 next week, they would be in the playoffs. If not, LLC takes it. It's such an interesting interaction.
Yeah, it's certainly going to go down in the wire, and I'm looking forward to that. I mean, okay, it's not going to be a solo cast either, so we are going to be looking forward to that, and I am very excited to see some of those storylines. But I have to mention specifically, if we're just deconstructing the previous match that we just saw that ended, Eclipse are esport monthly finals winners. They've won against all of the major teams in EMEA, yada yada yada, but it's not convincing. Like based off how dominant they've been in the past month, you would expect them to completely roll through LLC, but that wasn't the case. So that is something to be said, that yes, they're still the team which has won the monthly finals. They are one of the top teams in EMEA, but they have to clean up the way they do things. They need to be a bit more confident with the way they're approaching things. I know it is like the new meta and etc., and people have to get used to it, but I still feel that that is something worth mentioning.
Next up is our last match of the day already, sadly, but it's going to be a banger one. Papara Supermassive came out of last week with a W, as well as Totem, but both of them aren't looking the best in all of the teams that we have lined up here. Totem does have my vote. They should take this one, but we actually have some of the casters that also voted for Papara Supermassive to win this one, so maybe it's going to be closer than we think.
It was just, I believe it was just Pew Pew, if memory serves. He said it's going to be Papara Supermassive. The rest of us said is going to be Reply Totem. I don't mind being wrong. I like to see good esports, and I think that we're going to have a banger of a match after we come back from this break. So I'll see you after the break, chat. Hello everybody and welcome back to GKR EMEA 2025 Brawl Stars Circuit. I am your host Pancast, joined by the amazing Sunny Enough, and make sure to use code PAN and code SUN in the Supercell stores if you are opting to buy anything. It would help us a lot. It would help us all very much so, because it is very difficult putting up this sort of production, and obviously your support means the world to us.
It means more than we can say, really. Really appreciate using a single code. It doesn't have to be ours. Any content creator would probably be thankful. But now, coming back to the tournament, we are in the GKR Day 5 already. So we only have today and then one more match day next week. So kind of looking forward to this last match now, with both a lot of hope for another banger, but also a bit of a sad outlook that GKR is almost over already. Heading into our very last match of the day, it's Papara Supermassive versus Reply Totem.
Indeed, Papara Supermassive, comprised of Filippo, Salty, Tomzy, and Reply Totem have Angel Boy, Maru, and Mori. Now, it stands to mention that Reverso Gaming versus Experian NXT was a very important match for Papara Supermassive, because if Reverso lost out, then Papa Supermassive would lock in their playoff position. But because of the free win now, it's Reverso who's going to be in a situation where they can possibly get to the playoffs today itself. But it is dependent on how Papa Supermassive play against Reply Totem. If Papa Supermassive win, then it's going to be prolonged to the next match day. But if Reply Totem win, then it's basically done for Proper Supermassive in this tournament. So it is interesting to see how this one does play out. Unfortunately for Proper Supermassive, a lot of the free wins did go by way of Reverso and not in their favor. And I think that they're definitely going to be sad about it. But at the end of the day, they're going to be competing against Reply Totem. And I think this is going to be a banger for Matt Sunny regardless.
Totem and Papara Supermassive so far sitting in a 3-1, as you mentioned, Panda. They did face against each other before on day 2, and it was a 2-0 for Reply Totem. So this should go away today again, but they haven't looked as strong as we might have expected. Coming into the season, they had some struggles. They didn't make it to the first monthly final, even though they have 3 of the most well-known names in all of Brawl Stars, I might say. I do like that the color combo, by the way, the pink and green, phenomenal matchup. Let's do that again.
I mean, I have to mention that Angel Boy is a new pickup for them, right? They swapped out iChaos for Angel Boy. Now, obviously, 3 great players together would make a team great, right? But then there are some teething pains. There's obviously going to be a little bit of communication gap because we know that Angel Boy is Ukrainian and the other 2 gens are Italian. So maybe there might be some slight miscommunication, or they have to iron that out. They also haven't played with each other in the past, so there are these sort of small considerations to think of. Hopefully they get back into form, but if you look at the side of Popera Supermassive with Tomzy, Salty, Filippo, these guys have been playing with each other for a long time, like I would say for years at a time, so they aren't strangers to each other's playing styles. They're definitely going to be in tune and in key with each other, so it's going to be an interesting match because I feel like Reply Totem, if they get their communication down, they're going to be an unstoppable team. But right now, they're looking very shaky and are faltering in the entirety of the Brawl Stars circuit.
Sometimes a team takes a slow starter just to come back out of the gate swinging. So let's see if Totem is actually going to be that team. Papara Supermassive on the other side also had some very good matchups. They played in the first final. I'm gonna fact check that later if you don't know either, Panda. But yeah, they are a very strong team indeed, and they have what it takes to even beat a team like Reply Totem. We can still not say that Reply Totem is an easy team to beat. Heading into this draft now, very interesting to see that we not only lost a couple of the player cams, but also lost a couple of the bans that we usually see here. Ruffs is banned out. Piper and Hank and Kit are both open. Those 2 have usually been banned out right from the start on this map.
And
they did play in the first one.
Oh, you packed it yourself for already?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, Mandy's coming out for Popera Supermassive. I like the Mandy pick, but into the Great Hank, I don't know if that's the best here. I would have liked the Lou or maybe the Buster or maybe even the Meeple. Especially since the Meeple is open, I don't think it's a bad pick here. But with the Kit, I don't know if I agree with the first pick Kit here. I just think it's very difficult to really get that much of value from a first pick Kit. And they go for Pearl as their last pick. I don't know if I agree with this comp from Popera Supermassive, but let's see how this plays out here, Sunny, as Reply Totem had the last pick.
I do like the Grey, very aggressive, and can also take the Hank with him once a teleport is down. Now they could go with something to still control the Kit a bit better, maybe a tank counter. Let's see what it is gonna be here. Maisie is a tank counter, not the strongest of all options, I might add here. It was actually Meeple. I like that better. Thank you so much.
Meeple makes sense. But what doesn't make sense to me is none of the teams taking Meeple earlier on. I feel like Meeple as the last pick is a little bit sketchy, but I like this Meeple. The Mansions of Meeple can really shut down a Kit. Just imagine a Kit using a gadget and the getting shut down because of a Mansions of Meeple just blocking it in that position. So it's pretty nice, but I like the composition from Totem a lot more than Popper Supermassive.
And we're heading into the match where we see a very aggressive Totem right from the get-go coming in and pushing the back into spawn. Filippo gets pulled in thanks to Walking Cane. Gadget from Amari comes down and he has a lot of area control thanks to it. Not only push back into spawn, they're getting pushed back into a single corner now. That's a Hank dream right there.
Indeed. But Tomsy jumps on a Salty and they find the kill actually. Salty finds a kill into Maru. That's going to be huge. As now Mansions of People are going to shut down all the 3 members of...
He doesn't have an ult.
Oh, God. That is just heartbreak. You would want that ult to be there online. Otherwise, you're not going to get that value. And I think the side of Popper Supermassive are just happy enough to stay in the back lines and not really commit. As they get another kill onto Mori and a jump as well from Tomsy on Angel Boy. And that is Totem completely shut down there, Sunny. What is even happening here?
I'm speechless, honestly. That gadget could have saved the day for Totem, but neither had the Grey a gadget to follow up with, nor had Mari an ult to shoot through the walls there. So really unfortunate timing. Also that the Hank fell so early. Another Walking Cane coming out here, paired with a nice ult that they get to take down onto Filippo. It's a 2v3 situation now. Here Salty and Tomsy have a top task here. They do find the takedown on 2-1. Then with 2v1 here. Angel Boy and Mari against Salty. Can't really do much there. Still gets his hypercharge ready though. So all in all, a good round for Papara Supermassive here. They do have a double hypercharge ready. Totem is struggling.
Yeah, great stuff from Popper Supermassive. Though Totem did manage to execute in the second game, I like the pull from the second game here and big matches of people being used along with a big super coming in from Filippo. Gets the value there. Mori certainly down. It's going to be Tomsy Filippo versus Angel Boy. Angel Boy has to do something now or it's going to be a now or never, as he does manage to get a little bit of value on a Tomsy. Not able to confirm that kill. I feel like that would have been the win condition for Totem here. Angel Boy really needs to pull a rabbit out of the hat. Otherwise, it's not looking good for him.
If anyone can do it though, it's gotta be Angel Boy. One of the best players we have in all of Brawl Stars. Mechanically skilled like almost no one else. Filippo has a Tomsy though that can heal him. Tomsy could also jump on Angel Boy to stun him. Angel Boy just tries to play close to one of his teleports. Actually manages to dodge that ult coming in from Tomsy. Very well played by him.
Yeah, I think this game is going to go the way of Popper Supermassive. Totem have no recourse there. I just think that it all went downhill when Angel Boy got taken out in the first round. I just think that they need to play a bit more closer to the chest. Yeah, Maru, sorry. Yeah, once the Hank got taken down, I feel like they need to play closer to the chest. They need to play as a team and not really overcommit. And a lot of the times they are doing that. I feel like it needs to be Reply Totem actually forcing Popper Supermassive to play into them. I know that there is a Kit on the other side, but there isn't any brawler that synergizes with Kit to make it that much more offensive and scary.
Tomsy now getting ready, jumping onto Salty. They can push up together. Replacements also by the Meatball. Getcha, by the way, getting rid of those bushes slowly as well. Gonna help them in the long run. Walking Cane from Angel Boy doesn't find a connection here. And as you mentioned before, Panda, Totem definitely has the draft here. And they have the Meeple, such a great synergy also between the Meeple and the Grey. We see this comp come out so often. Walking Cane is gonna make the gadget for Mari just infinitely better. But Papara Supermassive is playing this pretty clean. Let's see if they can take this round. Pull now coming in from Angel Boy. This time it connects. Filippo is quite low here. He does have an ult ready, but gets trapped here, and we see the synergy coming out now. It's a 3v2 situation with all 3 members of Totem quite low though. They turn it into a 2v1, 1v1, and Tomsy takes it in the end. Beautifully played here from Papara Supermassive. Totem should have had that one in the bag after they took down Filippo. For some reason, they were too low to really take this first round.
I don't know. That is some magician work there. I did not expect that to happen as Papa Supermassive took the dub there. Now Salty going to be jumping, or Tom's jumping on to Salty here as Mario's on the right hand side. I really think Totem need to figure out what's going wrong, because it is not supposed to play out like this with the composition that they have here. And now they're being pressured, and there's a kill as well. There's another one. Angel Boy goes down. Mori is the last one alive in his team, and a Meeple just does not have the firepower to take down 3 opponents here, Sunny.
Filippo pops hypercharge, doesn't find any connection with Mari, so he's still standing. He actually does manage to find a kill here as well, but a 1v2 is still impossible to do. And it's not only the game going the way of Papara Supermassive, it's the set altogether. It's 1-0 up against Totem, something I definitely did not see coming. And we see a Totem like we've never seen it before. It looks like they're a bit broken today. It looks like they had the draft. They're so strong. They're such a good team. They have all the experience in the world, especially Mari and Mari playing together for years and years. But they're struggling this year.
Mind you that Maru and Mori were in a Totem side that ended the drought of championships, which were only going to East Asia, where they won it in Japan when it was ESL Masters. I believe you were casting that tournament. So it isn't surprising to know that these people are at the highest level of esports. But what is surprising is that you have 3 superstars who are not able to come together to really execute at the level that they ought to be executing at. And as a fan of Totem, I'm very sad about how it's playing out. I really want things to change and turn around going into this next game here on out in the open here, Sunny.
Yeah, it's honestly hard to talk about this really, because usually I'm all for the underdog winning, and Papara Supermassive, I think it's still safe to say that they are the underdog in this matchup, but it's hard to see a team like Totem struggle again and again, and it's not just once that they seem to struggle against an underdog. It seems to be, yeah, almost daily now. They at least did make it into the monthly final. Didn't make it out of the quarterfinal though. They had Eclipsar in the very first round. Eclipsar ended up winning the whole tournament. So at least there's that, I guess, the comfort of knowing that they only lost to the winner of the whole tournament. So it shouldn't hurt too much. But it still doesn't look like a Totem that we are expecting.
Yes, because
they can come back stronger now, though. Out in the open.
Yes, because from a mechanical standpoint, you expect Totem to execute at the highest level. But now they not only had the draft, but they still lost. That means they got outskilled as well. So obviously the communication and the fact that the side of Papara Supermassive have been playing together as a team for a long time. But the nucleus of Totem have been playing arguably even longer together. So it feels like we're watching Totem completely fall apart, and I am very sad about it. But another team that we could talk about, which is in the same predicament, is Team Heretics. You have Drage, you have iChaos, and Lena, and they're 3 of the best players in EMEA or the world, and they're just not able to execute together. And I think that is a travesty and a tragedy, actually. So I want to see Totem and Heretics come back online, but Papara Supermassive are looking really good. They go for the kit again, and I'm surprised that Totem didn't decide to block out that kit, considering that they were hammered by that kit in the first game.
Again, 2 brawlers left open that are usually banned out on this map. Hank this time around is going to be banned out, however. He looked just too strong on out in the open in the previous 2 times you have already seen him. Hit strat again by Papara Supermassive. I mean, it worked out once. I wouldn't say that Kit is necessarily the best brawler in the meta right now, but on Knockout, it seems to be a feasible strategy if paired with brawlers that have a good synergy with him. Max and Ollie, I do like to see that come out of Reply Totem. Max is pretty much a comfort fix from the Italians, and Ollie's just so strong in the current meta. Oko, he's just so good. Thanks to protecting tunes now, getting rid of any slow, any stun. It probably also works against the Hypnotize from Ollie. Just such a super good pick into this comp from Reply Totem.
I mean, You have the speed, you have the Hypnotize from Reply Totem. I don't know how much value you're going to get from the Protective Tunes there, but regardless, you're going to be healed up. Oh my god, this complete cheese composition from Popper Supermassive. I Totem have to play it very aggressively and very fast, and they have the max for the speed, they have the Ollie, but they don't have...
I think they need another tank. Go in double aggressive together with the max. Just to shut down this kit idea before they even get super. And there's the Frank.
But Frank, though, into Buster, I think that Buster is made specifically to counter the Frank. So I don't know how well this composition is going to do for Reply Totem, but Popper Supermassive looking mighty strong here, Sunny.
I mean, Frank now also has rechargeable gadgets that just come back. You not only have 3 in the game now, you have a timer on them and you can use them infinitely. So maybe Frank can survive against the boss. He can use his super if he just uses the correct gadget. We're gonna see as soon as we're getting thrown into this match here. 1-0 up for Papar Supermassive. Reply Totem needs to win sets 2 and 3 to still win this match today.
I just realized how filthy that composition from Popper Supermassive is, because if the hit jumps onto the Buster and you have the heals coming in from the Poco, that Buster is probably never going to go down. we see
have the
Tatum.
Kit ult ready already. They're going in together here and already get the takedown onto the Frank. That massive bulk of HP getting taken care of immediately. But that's what I meant. Totem needs to go in aggressively and do something before that kid gets ult. Otherwise, it's over for them.
Oh, we see Hypnotize coming in jump as well, but it doesn't hypnotize anybody, which is unfortunate. That was basically the only time they might have had a win condition. Now Maru has to work towards getting his super back, but there is already all the supers online on the other side. And Maru goes in once more. He tries. It's a bit unfortunate, but it's not going to work out for them as the first round goes to the side of Popper Supermassive, who played it very well. And Reply Totem, they need some reply here, Sunny.
They need a better drop, really. I feel like Totem still mechanically, the better team here maybe, but the drop is just so good coming out of Papar Supermassive. They have the Poco that should get an emergency nerf. They have the kit that has such great synergy with the Buster. So yeah, we'll see if they actually can take this set and make it their match point already. Hypnotize coming out of Maru here, but he gets taken out in the end. Danger Boy's one shot. The last man standing is Mari, and he can't really do much other than getting taken care of here as well. Papara Supermassive with the match point already against Totem.
That is crazy. The way Popper Supermassive didn't even blink. They were just going from strength to strength. I feel like they weren't even pressured at all by the side of Reply Totem. They were not ever in a situation where it wasn't under their control. I feel like all the sets that we've had, all the games that we've had so far, has been Reply Totem playing into the game plan of Popper Supermassive, and that's not what we should be expecting usually.
Let's see if we see this exact thing happening once again. Totem tries to pressure Papar Supermassive here at the start. Kit has super now. They walk up together here. It really seems like we're watching the same match playing out again. Tomsy and Philippa walking up together. At least this time around they don't get the Frank right away. It's still a 3v3 so far.
Yeah, but the hypercharge already there with Tomsy, and we just started this, so that is kind of crazy that you can easily farm the hypercharge of Buster. I feel like that also probably warrants an emergency nerf as Tomsy goes in, but not able to find the value that he's looking for. And Angel Boy does break up the grass. I think that is probably a good idea, because now you know what you're playing against, as the jump from Filippo is there onto Tomsy. Hypercharge being popped by Salty. The shields are online now. Tomsy can go on the left-hand side, but we are going to get a little bit of some hypnosis going. But Maru is not able to find the kill onto Salty just yet. Still alive. I don't know how, but in the end, Reply Totem are able to come out on top and get this round, which was very sorely needed here, Sunny.
That was Angel Boy going crazy there. Very low, but his shots just get faster the lower he gets. The thing now with Frank. A couple of months already. And he just absolutely wreaked havoc there in the end. Yes, the Hypnotize doesn't really work, because every time Maru finds a connection, Salty can just pop a gadget. Get rid of the Hypnotize immediately. They have 2 hypercharges ready now. Super as well on the side of Papar Supermassive. Looks a bit more bleak on the side of Totem here with only the max hypercharge. Switching in again now. Hypercharge popped on the side of Totem. They try to pressure them aggressively.
Indeed, lots of speed, but a whole lot of nothing. And there is more speed, in fact, for Mori. Angel Boy has the super. It wants to remove the grass. I feel like removing the grass is such a huge decision. Just makes it much more easy to figure out visibly where your opponents are. There's going to be a hypercharge being popped by Tomsy. He goes in. Filippo still doesn't have his own super yet. Tomsy is very low, but hypercharge popped by Salty. And Angel Boy is going to be certainly taken out here. There is going to be some shots being fired. Oh my god, there's going to be a super as well. Tomsy, the last one alive. Can he come out on top? He might be able to, but no, it's going to be Maru clutching up, and that's going to give Reply Totem the win. It is still match point for the side of Papara Supermassive, but Reply Totem have finally are off the mark here, Sonny.
Totem can come back from this one. They didn't give up hope just yet. They just need another strong game, and they can prolong it to set 3. I think they managed to do so. They did find a way to finally shut down this comp from Papara Supermassive to shut down the Kit and Buster. New adaptation here from the side of Papara Supermassive. Totem didn't know that they were just waiting in the bushes there. They thought they would be standing in spawn for the 3rd time in a row. Angel Boy gets trapped here immediately, gets taken out, and this is a 3v1 now. Not able to win here probably for Mari.
Yeah, this is definitely not the best situation. I think he's just trying to farm his hypercharge just to make it easier for them to get back into the swing of things. But we know what's going to happen in the first engage of the second round. It's just going to be the side of Papara Supermassive being in spawn and not really worrying because they already have all their utilities online.
They were just waiting for the Buster and the Kid ult. At the same time, Mari's trying to farm his hypercharge, as you mentioned, just by walking, spinning, doing everything he can here. It doesn't look too good for Totem, I have to be honest here. We have a hypercharge ready on the Buster. Kid has ult out of the gates and a poker and ult as well. They can go in aggressively if they decide to right from the start. Totem needs to be careful this time around to not overextend, to not lose one of their members right at the start.
Oh, we already hear the Frank breaking walls. They want a clear path to the mid, but so do the side of Papara Supermassive. And I think right now Totem are very unsure of themselves, actually, because otherwise you'd see them going up very aggressively, but they haven't done so far. But Tomsy has his hypercharge, so does Salty. They can't make something happen. Now Tomsy goes in with a hypercharge. Filippo jumps on his back as well, and they aren't able to get into the position where they can actually get a kill from the hypercharge, but they've certainly got a lot of control. Huge supers coming. Angel Boy is going to be certainly taken out. He does get taken out, and now it's going to be Maru's turn to be taken out here. No, he's not going to be, as there is a hypnosis. A kill onto Salty is going to be huge, and now we have Reply Totem still having an opportunity, still having a chance to come back in this one, Sonny.
Great killer coming out there from Mori on that max. It's a 2v2 now. Everything is open. It's still match point for Papara Supermassive. They need one more round of knockout, and they can take this one. Last chance here for Totem. Hypercharge coming in from the Buster. Kit is jumping onto him, trying to hypnotize them. It does work! No. Maru gets taken out, so 2v1 for Maru. He can't find a connection, can't find a kill, and it is the impossible, the unthinkable happening today. Totem falls 2-0 to Papara Supermassive.
They cannot be denied. Papara Supermassive just so strong right now, looking very, very good. I wouldn't be surprised to see them going all the way in the monthly finals. The next one, I know I'm saying it a bit too early, but congratulations to Papara Supermassive. I believe with this win, they also make it to the playoffs, where I believe Totem are also already there. So congratulations to them. Commiserations to Reply Totem. That was very, 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 very debilitating and tragic. And I think that they need to go back to the drawing board, because they had draft in one of them. In the second one, they drafted Frank into Ollie. Sorry, wait, no. Was it? No, they drafted Frank into Buster. How do you draft Frank into Buster? I don't know. There's something fundamentally wrong which they need to address.
They did take a game though with that sad comp, so it is an option. We're looking at day 6. It's going to be Brawl Ball, a fan favorite here, and we have some very interesting matches here lined up for you. I'm especially looking forward to that Humble SK Gaming game. Reverso versus Papara Supermassive is also going to be an interesting one, and especially for Group B, Dark Eagles versus LLC, everything is still open there. Everybody can still make it into the playoffs. A huge shout out once again to our sponsors, to the production behind GKR, and to my co-caster here. It was a blessing as always to cast with you, Panda. And yeah, just huge commiserations once again to Totem. I did not expect them to lose today, and I hope they're coming back as the Totem that we want to see next week.
Yeah, I think that Pew Pew is the only person keyed into how things are in terms of the team standings. He's the person who predicted that Reply Totem are going to be taking the L here, and Pauper Supermassive are going to be taking the dub. So I'm certainly looking out for Pauper Supermassive in more tournaments. I'm a huge fan of Angel Boy, and like I want to see Reply Totem coming back in to form, and I'd like to see them being on top of the meta once more, but they have a lot of work cut out for them. And we do have one more monthly finals going into the Brawl Cup, but I think that this is the moment where they really need to come out on top, because they have the opportunity for making worlds, because I believe the second split of the BSC has double the points. So it's not over for a lot of the teams which you might think are out of it completely to make it to the world finals. So we're still just getting started with the esports thing. I think that if you think that Totem are out, you're probably mistaken, because we are not even halfway through the season yet.
To be fair, in Group A, Papara Supermassive now takes over the lead. They're sitting on spot 1. Totem is sitting only on spot 2. Could technically still be taken over by Russo Gaming.
Oh.
Hence then on the direct matchup there. We're gonna do the calculations in the background. I'm sure you're gonna find all the math on social media from GKR as well. So make sure to head over there as well, and make sure to vouch and tune in, fan for your favorite teams again, so they can make little playoffs.
Yeah, thank you guys for showing up, because without you, the fans, this wouldn't be possible. Thank you to the sponsor, Smilke, and obviously the Brawl Stars and BSC as well. And thank you to the production team of GKR, because without you guys see all the wonderful visuals and whatever, and you see us, me and Sunny, but we barely do anything. We just get on the camera and talk. All the stuff happens behind the scene. So thank you to the production team for making everything look so buttery smooth. And once again, thank you to everybody for showing up. I really appreciate each and every one of you, and I guess we'll see you on the next match day. But remember to use code SUN and code PAN in the Brawl Stars shop, because I believe Lumi is coming out tonight, in fact. So make sure you grab her and use our codes if you're grabbing her. Yeah.
I would appreciate it as well. Thank you so much, Panda, for those kind words as always, and I hope your pillow is cool on both sides tonight. Sleep well, and see you next week.